adventure. Tonight, Ron Evans tells us his story of suspense called In Cold Blood.
Keep that gun under your overcoat yourself.
This is my third operation. I know what to do.
Somebody could open that carriage door at any moment. How about you explain that machine pistol you're waving around?
Does it matter now? Only 3 minutes to go, Marty.
Yeah, 2.5. Yoshi and Bellman will already be in position at the other end of the restaurant car. I think all the children will be inside there by now.
The woman I saw with them, who is she?
An English teacher, Myra Castells. She arranged this tour into West Wales for them.
It was helpful of her. This time there'll be no mistakes. The British will be helpless and are not likely to do here in Wales what the Australians did.
It is foolproof, Yusuf. All right, 90 seconds left. Get ready.
The corridor is empty.
Move on. After you. Yoshi and Bellman will be waiting for us to make the first move. You see through the glass?
Yes.
They are all eating. Get ready to pull the communication cord and brace yourself for the sudden breaking when you do it. Ready. Now!
Right.
In they go! And fire one burst over their heads. Everybody stay where they are!
It was an audacious piece of terrorism, but it worked. 4 men, 2 German, 1 Japanese, and a Palestinian, managed to hold up a train a few miles east of Harlech. It was done with expertise and with the ruthlessness of the professional. And these men were professionals. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Bruce of MI6, and within 3 hours of the message being given me, I was at the scene. The train hijackers had released a large number of the passengers, one of whom was briefed on what to tell us. The chief constable, Colonel Banks, was there, and he quickly explained the situation.
They've chosen their ground well, Colonel Bruce. Open ground for 200 yards on either side of the line. We can't get closer than that without drawing their fire. As you can see, the front and rear of the train have been released and taken away. All that's left is that one carriage.
Restaurant car, isn't it?
Yes. All the children were having lunch when it happened. 35 of them, and a teacher. All the other passengers have been set free.
The message I got said they were schoolchildren.
That's right. Touring Britain on some reciprocal exchange scheme, you know the thing.
Yes. Somewhere in the States, the same number of British kids are being taken on tours. Anyway, all that's beside the point. The men who are holding the train, have they made any demands yet?
Same thing as before. 60 political prisoners being held in Britain, France, Denmark, and Israel to be released no later than Friday midnight. Then they're going to start shooting the kids one by one.
The swines will do it, too. There's little mercy in this game. A little less than 32 hours. And by the look of it, this is going to be a hard nut to crack. We daren't risk a frontal assault, except as a last resort. That way, we could save most of the kids. But I'd rather save them all. Have they made any arrangements for communicating directly with us?
I've sent to Barmouth for a receiver. They've given us this wavelength to listen into.
I see. Right. As soon as you set it up, I'll have a chat to them. Meanwhile, all we can do is to watch and wait. I see you've effectively sealed off the area. Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What do you want? Who are you?
In the first place, I'd like to know why you've done this incredibly brutal and stupid thing.
I asked for you to identify yourself.
Lieutenant Colonel Bruce of MI6.
Very well, Colonel Bruce. let me warn you of this here and now. If you want to call us names, do it with your friends up there. All I have to do is flick a switch to cut you off. Do you understand me? If you must know, we have chosen children as our target in the knowledge of how sentimental the public is. 35 child hostages are worth 1,000 adults.
What organization do you represent?
Black September.
But by your accent, you're a German.
Yeah, I am German. We are international guerrillas assisting the Black September. Only one of us is a member of the organization.
Yeah. I take it you're one of the Bader-Meinhof gang.
Yeah, that is right. I am Martin Strang. I tell you this so that you will realize there can be no compromise. The prisoners are released, or I, my 3 companions, and the children will die.
Martin Strang. Yes, I've heard of you.
Good. Then I think we understand each other. You have until midnight tomorrow to save these children.
Martin Strang, a man wanted in most law-abiding countries of the world, the Eastern Bloc countries included. He was a hardcore terrorist who could never be talked into surrender. The choice left to me was to mount some kind of attack to rescue the children or give in to his demands, and to take the latter course would need the cooperation of the Israeli, French, and Danish governments, which was highly unlikely. Meanwhile, in a small room in England, a group of 15 men sat around a large table. One of them, who went under the code name of Achilles, was speaking.
I think you'll agree with me, gentlemen, that the time for action has come.
Yes, indeed. Action at all costs.
Yes, we've talked for many months, and I don't think there's a man among us who would care to back out now. Good. Through my contacts at the Home Office, I've learnt the names of the 4 men involved. Their leader is Martin Strang. The Jap is Yoshi Samaroto. The Arab is Jakob Hassan. And the second German is Franz Baumann. I'm sending a message immediately to our people in Germany, Japan, and Iraq to do their duty. As soon as I've received positive replies, I shall contact Lieutenant Colonel Bruce, who's in charge of the train. I think that our action will have the desired effect.
To this day, the identities of the men who attended that gathering are unknown, nor is it known who were their overseas contacts. But it became obvious later that they were a secret military organization, men who were highly skilled and had formed this association, which called itself Backlash. They even had the tacit help of people in authority, as I was shortly to discover. The next morning, I was with Colonel Banks inside a communications truck which had been sent up overnight from London.
I don't suppose it'd do much good asking for more time.
Oh, no good at all. The French and Israeli governments have already rejected their demands, so there's little hope now of a negotiated settlement.
So you're going to mount an attack?
50 special assault troops have arrived from London. Oh, yes, and 10 snipers. The trouble is, all the blinds on the train have been lowered, which leaves nothing for them to snipe at. And we can be sure there's no way of luring these men out of the train.
I agree.
As for an assault, I haven't a clue how it could be tackled. The carriage doors have been connected to high explosive charges. Open one, and the whole carriage goes sky high. And if we fire tear gas or smoke bombs through the windows, one of them will fire a detonator and poof! I'd say that those men are in an impregnable position so long as they hold their hostages.
It's a ruddy nightmare. Could we starve them out?
By withholding food and water, who do you think will suffer most? The kids. And if they get desperate, they'll blow up the carriage anyway. Besides, I doubt if they'll wait beyond the time limit.
13 more hours.
The Ministry of Defense hotline, excuse me. Bruce speaking.
Good morning, Colonel. Pardon my using your special line to the ministry. What I have to tell you is important.
Who are you?
You may call me Achilles of the Backlash organization.
Achilles? Backlash? I'm sorry, but I can't understand. Am I speaking to the ministry?
I am using the ministry line, that is all. Now, please listen carefully to what I have to say. We are going to release those children in the train, but we'll need some cooperation from you.
Oh, what in heaven's name are you blathering about?
Hear me out, Colonel. Officially, you can do nothing to save those children. I am fully acquainted with the situation. The explosives on the doors and the suicidal determination of the terrorists I know. I represent a private organization, and we know how to deal with these men. All I'm asking is that you withdraw your troops and police to a 500-yard perimeter around the carriage, and do not interfere with us when we land.
Land?
3 helicopters will land in the open space between your people and the carriage. Leave everything to us. The 4 terrorists will be handed over to you, alive or dead, whichever the case may be.
Oh, but this is ridiculous. I can't do a thing like that. Don't you realize
I
that
realize only that you are powerless to save the lives of those children, Colonel. Now give us 30 minutes and I'll guarantee that not a hair on their bonny little heads will be harmed. A blind eye for half an hour, that's all. If you refuse, we will hold you responsible for the children's deaths.
Well, I don't know what to say. If I knew who you are, I might be
You
able...
will never know who I am, nor who my colleagues are. We are an anti-terrorist organization which is prepared to meet fire with fire, violence with violence. In addition, we can do many things which the government would never allow. Now, are you prepared to let us save the situation? We're going to leave it until it's too late and let those fanatics destroy the children. You must tell me now.
How did you manage to get through to this number and get the use of this special
That
line?
is immaterial, Colonel. We have others who are ready to turn a blind eye to our activities. Men ready to put an end to this wave of international terrorism. Can I put you in that category?
Oh, half an hour, you say?
Not more. That I can promise you.
And what will you do in those 30 minutes?
I'm not at liberty to explain that. All I can say is that our choppers will arrive at 1300 hours precisely.
This puts me in a very awkward position.
More awkward than that of the children, Colonel?
Well, no, but... Oh, very well. I'll withdraw my men to a 500-yard perimeter at 1245 hours.
Excellent, Colonel. See that no one tries to approach us. You may, if you wish, but come alone.
There was something about the man's voice that instilled confidence. It was against all my instincts of duty to do as he asked, but I did. Objections were raised, but I brushed them aside without an explanation. How this so-called Achilles was going to deal with the inflexible Martin Strang and his pals had me guessing. I thought I'd considered every possible method. I had, except for one. With precise military timing, the shapes of 3 helicopters arrived over the scene. 2 of them were small. The third was a large one, which the Army used for transporting troops. How a private organization came to have one was a mystery, especially one in military colors with only its identification numbers painted out. They landed 200 yards from the train, and 8 hooded men in black clothes emerged. For a few moments, I felt as though I were watching something from a far-fetched television series. But it was real enough. The gasps of astonishment that came from the throats of the men about me proved that. More to avoid the questions than to satisfy my curiosity, I stepped forward and walked out to where the hooded men were grouped before the nearest door of the largest helicopter. They ignored my approach at first, and then one detached himself from the group and met me.
Nice to meet you, Colonel.
What's all this hooded phantom nonsense? I've stuck out my neck by letting you land here and withdrawing my men. My chaps over there must think I'm out of my mind.
I won't in a few minutes. Open up, Lysander. Come inside, Colonel. We've got all the equipment we need to deal with our friends on the train.
I stepped into the troop carrier and stifled a gasp of astonishment at what I saw. Inside the dim interior, 20 civilians sat there, firmly bound by leather straps to their seats. Men and women, young and old, each gagged by a strip of adhesive tape across the mouth. I could feel their eyes burning into me as they took in my uniform.
Surprised, Colonel?
What is all this? Who are these people?
These people are close relatives of the hijackers. Mothers, fathers, wives, girlfriends. You see that little group there? We had them flown all the way from Baghdad last night. These here were flown in from Germany this morning. Our people in Japan haven't had sufficient time, So they're holding Yoshi Samarota's people in a cellar in Tokyo.
But this is preposterous.
Is it, Colonel? Just think carefully. All right, perhaps it is preposterous. But is it any more preposterous than what those terrorists are doing to those children?
You're going to murder these people if Martin Strang and his gang kill the children? Is that what you're planning?
Hector, give me the mic. Get onto Strang's frequency. Hello. Hello, can you hear me, Strang?
Yeah? Is that Colonel Bruce?
No. I'm the man who's taken over from him for a while. You can call me Achilles.
Your name doesn't matter. What have you landed those choppers so close to us for? I've warned Colonel Bruce to keep these people well away. If you don't move out right away, I will have a couple of dead children dropped on the line. Do I make myself clear?
Just curb your killing instincts for a minute and listen to what I have to say, Strang. Do you know a Fräulein Helga Schmeiss from Hamburg?
What of her?
Your father and mother, Herr and Frau Strang, are with me as well as Fräulein Schmeiss. Also your favorite uncle, Herr Gruber and his wife.
Is it you? Yeah? I don't understand.
Just let me make myself brutally clear, Strang. For every hostage that you shoot, one of these people will be executed from our side. And it will be done outside for you to see, just in case you think I'm bluffing.
You are bluffing. You are bluffing. The British government will never allow it. It's
Against all the rules of human behavior? Is that what you're trying to say, Strang? Yes, it is. Like your own behavior. We have nothing to do with the British government, nor any other government. We're here to fight you on the same brutal and ruthless manner that you've chosen to fight. And remember this, Strang. You chose the method. The lives of your relatives and Fräulein Schmeiss are in your hands as much as those of your hostages.
No, I don't believe...
Wait, I'm not finished yet. Just in case your partners think this doesn't affect them, tell Jakob Rashid that his mother, father, wife, and his 2 sisters are here. Sitting in the troop carrier are also Franz Bellman's closest relatives, including his 2 teenage sons.
You are lying. You must be.
There was no time to bring Yoshi Samarota's people from Tokyo, but my associates are holding his family there. A signal from us will mean their immediate execution. Altogether, Strang, we have 36 hostages. 1 for 1.
Lies.
To convince you, I am arranging an identity parade outside the chopper. You'll have a chance to see for yourselves. Just give me 5 minutes.
I can't permit this.
You've given me a free hand for 30 minutes. Well, there's 25 still left. Lysander, Hercules, arrange for the hostages to be paraded outside.
Look, it is true. My father and mother. I can see them.
Yeah, this Achilles was not telling me lies. Now, what are we going to do? There must be a way out.
Do you really think they will shoot our people?
I don't know, Jakob. Are you willing to take the risk? First your father, and then your mother.
We need time to think.
Ah, time.
After the parade of hostages, they were quickly hustled back inside the troop carrier and refastened to their seats. The man called Achilles went to the communications transmitter and flicked a switch.
Can you hear me, Strang?
Yeah. Now I believe you.
Good. Now, I'm giving you exactly 15 minutes to release those children and the teacher. When they are all accounted for, you can come out yourselves, with your hands behind your heads.
No, you don't give us enough time. We must talk.
15 minutes, Strang. Then I shoot 1 hostage for every minute, starting with your father.
You won't do that.
How much does Fräulein Schmeiss mean to you, Strang? I'm told you're lovers. All right, so you won't say. I'll use her as a test. Watch through your window for her leaving the troop carrier. When I give the order, one of my men will shoot her. I'm sure that will convince you.
You are bluffing this time.
Very well, hold on. Hector, put Fräulein Schmeiss outside. You know what to do.
No, wait. I can't permit this.
You can't stop us now, Colonel. Lysander, cover the good Colonel with your gun. What? If he makes a move to go, shoot him in the leg. No, Colonel, don't look at me like that. I'd gladly exchange your life for the lives of those children.
This is atrocious. You can't get away with this kind of thing, no matter whose side you're on.
We can, Colonel. Just watch through the window.
I can't hear talking. Was that Colonel Bruce? Hello?
I'm still here, Strang. Never mind who's with me. Fräulein Schmeiss is just being taken out now. You should be able to see her.
You will not shoot Helge in cold blood. I know you people.
My blood ran cold as I watched the hooded men lead the German girl out of the helicopter to a position a few yards out in the open. Then the men left her and returned to the doorway. He raised his machine gun and fired a burst. The girl twisted under the impact and fell.
Are you watching, Strung?
You really killed her. You murdered Helga.
That's only a start, my dear chap.
How could you? In cold blood?
Yes, we're as ruthless as you are. You're seeing a reflection of yourself. Oh, yes, by the way, you've only got 8 minutes left. Your poor father here looks quite worried. He speaks English well and has been listening to our conversation. Would you like to have a last chat with him, perhaps?
Nein. All right. We can do the same as you. We shall shoot the teacher and throw her out of the train. Yoshi!
Think twice about that, Strung. Kill the teacher, and I'm afraid your father will have to pay for her life anyway.
Fine.
As well as the fathers of your pals. You know, tit for tat. Hector, take the fathers out and get them ready.
No. Wait. You must give us more time to think.
Sorry, old chap. Take a look through the train window. All your fathers are being brought out, and I'm sending a signal right away to Tokyo. Well, in another 7 minutes.
Just let me talk to the others.
I stood silent, dumbfounded. This man Achilles meant to carry out his threat, of that I had no doubt. And his men went about their task so efficiently and calmly that it sent shivers up my spine. The one who called himself Lysander still kept me covered. Achilles tapped away the seconds with his fingertips. Outside, 3 bound men were standing close to where the German girl's body still lay.
What will you do if we blow up the train with the children inside?
Make no mistake, Strung. When we take off from here, we shall leave behind a large number of dead bodies in retaliation.
What good will that do?
It might do those poor children no good at all, but it will act as a warning to others who might try the same thing in future. I give you my word, Strung, that if you hurt those children, not one of my hostages will leave this field alive.
Wait a moment.
You have 75 seconds, Strung, no more.
All right. The children and the teacher are coming out.
Tell them to walk towards the trucks over there on the left. I want to count them.
They are coming out now.
As I watched through the window, a rear door in the carriage opened, and the child hostages jumped down and ran across the field towards the waiting line of soldiers. 35, followed by a young woman, the teacher. When they were clear, Achilles ordered his men to bring in the fathers and then turned back to the transmitter.
Are you there, Strung? Hello?
Well, I'll be damned. They've blown themselves up.
Good riddance, too. They knew they were doomed anyway. Lysander, go and bring in Eve, will you?
Eve? Who's Eve?
The girl that you thought was Fräulein Helga Schmeiss. She's really one of us. An excellent actress, don't you think? That blonde wig, she looks for all the world like the real Fräulein Schmeiss.
It's incredible.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Now, if you'll kindly go back to your command, Colonel, we'll leave. Oh, and please, do not try and discover who we are. Just remember what we've done.
A few minutes later, the 3 helicopters took off. As I said earlier, we never discovered the identity of the hooded men, and the whole affair was hushed up. A few inquiries were made, all leading to a dead end. Somewhere up top are men who know the truth. Perhaps we'll never know. For myself, I can sleep more easily in the knowledge that they exist.
High Adventure is produced by Anne Freed and directed by Henry Duffenthal.
adventure.
Tonight's story is entitled Incident of Aves Island by Christopher Charles.
The Caribbean Sea shone like burnished copper when we dropped anchor from the salvage ship Ventura. We lay approximately 300 miles northwest of Trinidad, latitude 63 degrees, longitude 15 degrees. It was my task to recover some highly secret prototype nuclear warheads from a wrecked B-52 jet bomber of the United States Air Force that lay in 200 fathoms of water below us. The recovery of those warheads was vital. If another world power managed to get hold of them, who knows what could result. A U.S. Navy frigate had immediately rushed to the scene of the disaster and had recovered a very small quantity of debris, including the vital flight recorder.
Excuse me, Commander Fuller.
Oh, please come in, Captain Benson. What have you come up with?
Well, from the aircraft flight recorder, we've recovered about 10 seconds taping before the jet crashed into the sea. Would you like to hear it, sir?
Please. It sounds very interesting.
Right.
No response from controls. 4,000 feet stalling. Falling into a dive. Position 63 degrees and 15 degrees. Can do no more, base. Sea's coming up fast. This is it.
Well, that's all we managed to recover. The rest is scattered all over the ocean.
Doesn't really tell us much. That pilot was completely resigned to his predicament. It doesn't follow. For instance, why didn't he bail out?
It is rather strange. But remember that he said his controls were not responding. Could be his ejecting gear was also out.
Possibly.
Well, when the bath escape's ready, we'll find out all the answers.
How long before it's in position?
Well, they're just completing final adjustments when I left them.
And the linkage cables to the hoist?
Also attached. I'll go and see if they're finished.
I'll come with you. Thank you, Captain. Wow, it's hot out here.
You've never experienced a Caribbean summer before, Commander?
Nope. It'll be cold down there.
Cold as death.
Bring it over here. Come on.
Holy!
Bring it down. There she goes.
There's your bath escape, Commander Pullen. There it is. Very sleek, very yellow.
Most modern available. Hey! Careful with that hatch cover.
Sorry, sir.
Here comes your diving companion.
Hello, Rod. Ready to go down?
Afternoon, Commander. Yeah, I'm ready. I don't think that nucleon is.
What's wrong?
Well,
Bathysphere?
I've just completed a systems check. 2 faults. A heavy-duty rivet next to the rear observation window is working loose.
Port or starboard?
Starboard.
What's the other fault?
Number 4 auxiliary motor fails to reverse.
That's bad. Did you remove the inspection covers?
Yeah, electrical circuitry's fused, as well as broken linkages in the gear mechanism.
By the sound of it, the equipment's not irreparable. Think you can do it?
Well, I would like to repair it with new parts.
It would take at least 36 hours to have the stuff flown to us, weather permitting.
Yeah.
Which it's not. Incidentally, we can expect a good, strong hurricane within the next 18 hours.
Which doesn't leave us much time, Rod. I suggest you get busy right now.
Will do, Commander. See you.
Excuse me, Captain.
Yeah, what is it?
A message from U.S. frigate Intrepid.
Thanks, Mr. Heston. Let's see. Report soundings. Evidence suggests large, unidentified underwater object, possibly foreign submarine. It could be freak warm water condition. Signals bouncing off. We'll investigate. Heston?
Sir?
Could you go and wake Commander Pullen? Ask him to come up on the bridge?
Sir.
Oh, also give him the message to Sparks, will you? Tell him it's urgent.
Right, Captain. I'll see to it right away.
Captain Vincent. Oh, I'm glad I found you here. The job's finished. Working like a charm.
Commander Pullen will be very happy, Mr. Rodney. Should be on his way up here soon. I've just received this note from Intrepid. Here, read it.
Seems like we're not the only ones here.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Where's Intrepid now, sir?
Well, take these glasses. See Aves Island over there?
Yeah.
Intrepid is just coming out to the left of the island. Quite hard to see against the setting sun.
I've got it. She's doing quite a lick. I must be onto something.
Could be. Commander Pullen, glad you could make it, sir.
Evening, Captain. Rod?
Nucleon is functioning 100%.
Good. What was the message you wanted to give me, Captain?
Just this wire from Intrepid, sir. Thought it might interest you.
Good grief. That's not so good.
Now the message from Intrepid, Captain.
Thanks. Object positively identified as a large submarine. Nuclear-powered. Possibly E-class. Nationality unknown. Also in international waters. Action taken. Monitoring. Submarine cruising at 18 knots. Depth approximately 475. We'll inform you if anything develops. Well, there we have it, Commander.
Yeah, I don't think this salvage operation's going to be easy. What nationality is that submarine, I wonder?
Yeah, hard to say. These are free waters. Could be Russian, British, any other great power. Most of them possess that class of sub. And, of course, it could be a coincidence.
The sooner we get down there and haul that plane to the surface, the better. I'm ready when you are, Commander.
Suppose I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Right.
We dive in 45 minutes. That makes it 1,400 hours. All right, Captain?
Fine, Commander.
Come on, Rod. Time to get into our diving gear.
With you, Commander.
We're ready to go, Captain.
Right, check the communication system, will you?
100%, Captain.
Let me speak to them, will you? Ventura calling Nucleon. Ventura calling Nucleon. Can you hear me?
Hearing you loud and clear, Captain. Nucleon to Ventura. All systems okay. Request permission to dive.
Go ahead, Nucleon. Keep us informed. Good luck. Release the hoist.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Two 20 feet and diving. Switch on sonar. Hello. This is Nucleon calling Ventura. We are at 300 feet completing a systems check. If anything goes wrong at this depth, we can still use aqualung equivalent to get to the surface. Any deeper, and we had it. Did you get that, Ventura?
Ventura here, Nucleon. We've had another report from Intrepid. She's lying right next to us. Submarine is at 500 feet in vicinity of B-52 bomber. Speed drop to 5 knots. Heading in your direction. That's all. All clear. Over.
Yep. All understood. Proceeding to dive now. Leave a lot of cable slack to accommodate for the increasing swell. Over and out. Anything on that screen?
Still nothing, Commander.
Prepare to release more ballast. Now. Nearly 500 feet and diving.
Commander, I've got something. Large metal object about 50 feet to our left. Depth about 635 feet.
Good. Calculations were very accurate. Let's get down there. Rotate bow thrusters 45 degrees. Increase tail thrust. That's it. Going very well.
Look, the sub. It's going to hit us.
Wow, it's massive. Full power thrust and ascent now.
It's no good. We're right in its path.
Hello, Ventura. Emergency on collision course with submarine. Ah! We're diving. Can't control her. Rod, emergency power thrust.
Operational. 600 feet, Commander. Bottom's coming up fast.
Ah, she's responding. Nearly there.
We're gonna hit the bottom. You okay, Commander?
No, I think so. What's more important, How's Nucleon?
Nucleon's skin is fractured. Water's coming in. Unless we do something, we're gonna die down here.
We're in a tight corner, Rod. At least sonar is working. Have you completed that power check?
Yeah, I'm pleased to say it's still working. Damage is not too serious.
This is Ventura. If you can hear us, Nucleon, please come in. Over.
Hello, Ventura. Glad to hear that you're still with us. Over.
Wow. Am I pleased to hear you're still alive? How's Nucleon? What the blazes happened?
We had a collision with that damned sub. We're busy assessing the damage at the moment. So far, we have a bent bow plane. Not too serious, though. The skin's fractured, but fortunately the outer skin only, which surrounds the auxiliary battery compartment. The batteries are irreparably damaged. And, of course, we've had to seal it off. Otherwise, all systems 100%. I think. Over.
Commander Pullen, I suggest you postpone the mission for the time being. Weather conditions are getting much worse. Large swell building up. And that submarine could cause further trouble. Over.
Captain, we've not suffered very serious damage, and we're down here in one piece. The hoist cables are not damaged, and I think we should continue as before. Over.
As you wish, Commander. Over.
Ventura, I'm going to operate the main motors. Depending on how they work will determine if we carry on. Now, hold on. Ready, Rod?
Ready, Commander.
Here we go. Contact now. Throttle. Switch. We're okay. Hear that, Ventura?
Loud and clear. Good luck.
Hey, Captain Vincent. Carry on monitoring our progress. Over.
Can't see anything because of the sand we stirred up. Hold it. It's clearing.
Speed, 5 knots. Depth, 590 feet. Target should be right in front of us.
There it is. See it, Commander?
Yeah. Oh, poor devils. Ventura?
Receiving you, Commander.
We've sighted the jet. It hasn't disintegrated. Just the tail assembly and part of the cockpit. Otherwise, it's intact. You hear that, Ventura?
Certainly did. Good news. Will it be difficult to raise? Over.
We're hovering right over it now. The plane's lying on the edge of a chasm. Over.
We're ready up here. Start salvaging operations when you like. Over.
Thank you, Ventura. We're completing the survey now. Expect to attempt to attach cables quite soon. Over. I want to take a closer look at that cockpit. Activate stern thrusters, Rod.
Right, Commander.
That's better. Yeah, you can see right inside now. Oh, Lord, it's not a pleasant sight. Pressure must have done that to the pilot.
Squashed like an egg. Come, let's get down to business. We can attach one grapple to that fuselage there, and the other one to that section near the tail.
Well, keep us harboring. I'll get those hydraulic arms working. Drop 2 feet, Rod. Slowly. Bit more. All right, hold it there.
Right.
Just a little manipulation. There, done it.
Oh, well done, Commander. Now for the tail grapple. Easy does it. Nearly there. Is that too high?
A little. Say 3 feet. Now take it easy.
Yeah?
That's better. Now hold it. Keep it there.
Holding.
Done that one. Easier than I thought it would be. Ventura, did you hear all that? All the cables are in position. Over.
Got it. Congratulations, both of you. Over.
Give us time to get away a little, Captain. I'll give you the word when you can start hoisting. Over.
Fine, Nucleon. Sea's getting rough up here, but I think that our hoist will accommodate for that. Over.
Oh, darn it. That dicky motor failed to reverse again.
But I repaired that.
Probably that collision fouled it up again. Well, we can operate without it. All right. This is far enough, Captain. Start hoisting.
Okay, here we go. It's a lot of slack.
I can see the cable's getting tauter. A little bit more pressure on that tail cable, Ventura.
Will do. Lines are taut now. It's going to be a slow business. Over.
Captain, we're coming up. No more we can do down here. Ready, Rod.
Yes, Commander.
Oh, no, there's a seaquake creating a devil of a lot of sand clouds I can't see. Vertical thrusters, full power. Let's get out of here.
The plane. It's sliding toward the chasm.
Hey, right underneath us.
That wing is going to...
Oh! What's happening? The lights are gone out. Must get control. Rodney, where are you? Hey, we're falling right into the chasm.
All contact with Nucleon lost, including cables.
The cables to the bomber?
We still have those there.
Small compensation. Give me that mic again, will you?
Here, sir.
This is Ventura calling Nucleon. If you can hear me, please come in. Ventura calling Nucleon. Come in, please. Over.
It's no good, sir. They're gone.
Yeah. And there's not a darn thing we can do. Except wait.
Yes, sir. Couldn't we have rescue equipment flown in?
Never reach us in time. Their oxygen expires in 8 hours. Minus 2 hours for decompression. That leaves them 6 hours. You heard Commander Pullen's last words. Falling into a chasm, weren't they? No, we can do nothing except wait.
How are you feeling, Rod?
It's my head.
Ah, you got a nasty gash there. Is that morphine killing the pain?
Oh, very slightly. Where the heck are we?
In that seaquake turbulence. We hit the plane, or it hit us. I don't know. Down we went, down the chasm.
What depth are we at?
Close to 5,000 feet.
What?
And Nucleon is designed to go to a maximum of 4,000 feet. How we haven't been squashed yet is a mystery to me.
It must be the 2-inch thick metal skin and the 5-inch plexiglass ports. Any contact with Ventura?
Nothing. Every cable was ripped away.
Oh, got any ideas?
None, until we check out what's wrong with Nucleon. Do you feel up to it?
If it means getting to the surface quicker.
The heliox storage sphere is not damaged. That means we've got about 7 hours of oxygen left on reduced output.
Why the lights dim? It must be getting low as well.
Not too bad. Capacity of power in the battery is about 57%.
Well, what about the ballast?
Well, that's the problem. We haven't enough ballast to get us out of here unless we drop the main battery pod. That'll deprive us of most of our power supply. Apart from lack of ballast, we've lost the left front bow plane, so our guidance control doesn't work too good. The starboard ballast tank is completely flooded, so we'll have a sharp list if ever we get out of this mud.
You mean we're embedded in the stuff?
Yep. Now, this is my plan.
Yeah?
Transfer as much power from the main battery to the auxiliary batteries. Then switch all the motors onto full power, drawing power from the main battery.
Yeah.
I intend to drop the main battery pod. It weighs 2 tons. Without that, we should manage it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Very clever.
If it works, yeah. Oh, there's just one thing.
Yeah?
Number 4 auxiliary motor. I want you to fix it.
Oh, it's going to be a tough job from the inside.
I know, but without that motor, we've had our chip.
All right, Commander. I'll see what I can do.
Think you can do it in under 30 minutes?
30?
Can't spare any more time than that.
I'd better start straight away.
I'll help you with the hatch.
All right, Commander. You can test that motor now.
On hold thumbs. Here we go. It's okay. Well done, Rod.
All right, Commander. I've done my bit. Now, get us out of here.
I'll do my best. All functioning perfectly. Now to release the main battery pod. Rod?
Yeah?
There'll be a drop in engine power as soon as the main battery disconnects, so don't get alarmed.
Right.
Jettison. Now. We're away. We've done it.
It's about time. It's getting very cold down here. A mile to the surface?
Just about. Switch on sonar. Find out where we are. It works.
Surprised?
Nope. Depth, 400 or 500 feet and rising. Rod?
Yeah?
Start scanning, will you?
Right.
What's the situation directly above us?
Hold on. Yeah, a strong signal. Yeah, there's an overhang about 100 feet above us.
Better alter course. How are we now?
Still above us. 70 feet now.
I can't get away from it. We're drawn towards it. I can't afford to lose any ballast. Stop motors!
here. What's our depth?
3,900 feet. Back within diving limits. And the overhang?
40 feet above us. Can't we do anything to get away from it? We can't just sit here waiting to hit it.
Well, we're powerless to do anything. I'd like to slow down the ascent, but that means releasing air, and we've got precious little of that as it is. How far now?
25 feet. Any moment now. We may miss.
Here we go. Pray for no damage. Now, that easy does it. Take the paint off, nothing else, please.
I'll recoat it. Another quake.
Sounds like it. Hold on.
Coming this way.
Start all engines. Full astern.
We're not touching the side anymore.
Trying to avoid possible rockfall. We must be out of that turn to get away from the side like that. Depth. 3,200 feet and rising. Another scan would be helpful, Rod.
Okay, Commander.
We've been hit. Depth 3,450 feet. In control. Rod, check sonar scan. Rod, he hurt.
It's my head again. It's bleeding. I'm fine in a moment.
Now, just relax.
Yeah, let me help you. I'm feeling better.
I'm afraid water is spraying into one of the auxiliary batteries. Chlorine gas is leaking into the heliosphere. You know that means that
it means that it's getting into our oxygen supply. It's poison.
Only one thing to do. Reduce output of oxygen. It's not going to be nice.
Oh, anything's better than chlorine gas.
Depth 2,900 and still going up. We'll make it yet. Feeling any better, Rod?
Could do with some more air. It's getting very stuffy. Can't be helped. What's our depth?
750 feet. Batteries, 27% power left.
That chlorine smell is getting stronger.
Content is near the danger level. Rodney, we may not make it.
I'm past caring, Commander. Oh, the pain in my head. It's getting more than I can take. Any morphine left? No, I know there isn't.
I'm sorry, Rodney. There's no more I can do. Gas, it's getting too much.
How far to go?
590 feet.
That's too far. We'll never make it.
Captain, why don't you go and sleep? You've been up all night. You're exhausted.
Isn't it a beautiful dawn? Sea looks so peaceful, tranquil.
I see.
I wonder if they're still alive. The life supply runs out in 20 minutes. Heston, I'm gonna get a cup of coffee. I'll be back soon.
Captain, look! Look over there! That's a nucleon! They made it!
Holy. Quick. Instruct the rescue launch to get ready. Quick, hurry, man, hurry.
Aye, aye.
Lower it gently on the deck now. Come on.
Gee, it's battered.
I can't see any movement, sir. They're either unconscious or
dead.
I'm afraid to say that the chlorine level in there is above danger. I think they're dead, sir.
It took me 2 months in intensive care to recover from that ordeal. Rodney Pullen, my brother, died of chlorine poisoning in a fractured skull 2 hours after the hatch of Nucleon was opened. The B-52 jet bomber was hoisted to the surface. The prototype nuclear warheads had fallen out of the damaged bomb hatch, but they're safe in a depth of over a mile. The foreign submarine? That remains a mystery.
High Adventure is produced by Anne Freed and directed by Henry Diffenthal.
High Adventure.
Tonight, Ron Evans takes us on a dangerous Pacific War assignment in his story entitled The Interrogators.
Welcome on board, sir. May I offer you a drink? Let's see. Have gin, whiskey, and a bottle of brandy. Some of the genuine French stuff, sir.
Whiskey and water will do. Thank you, Lieutenant.
I heard you were in the area, sir. In fact, I rather anticipated an inspection.
I'm not here for an inspection. You'll have me on board for your next voyage. Something quite special, eh?
Oh, I see, sir. Well, it's going to be quite a squeeze.
You have a spare cabin?
Hardly up to your standard, sir.
Does it matter? You'll be using it, and I shall use this cabin.
Oh. Yes, of course, sir. Will you be staying tonight?
No, I'll have to. We sail in an hour. A barge will be alongside shortly to top up the long-range fuel tanks.
So soon, sir?
It's top security from this moment, Lieutenant. This is an opportunity we've been waiting months for. Indeed, the very reason why we've kept this captured Japanese motor torpedo boat in these waters.
I see.
We've cracked the latest Jap code, and we're going to snatch somebody more than the usual Jap soldier, old chap. A general, no less. In fact, General Kobayashi himself.
Kobayashi? But he never leaves the Philippines, sir.
And that's where we're bound, Lieutenant Wymark. All the way with the Japanese ensign fluttering on our stern.
But we can't just sail into Manila Harbor and...
If we have to, we will. But an intercepted Jap signal has revealed that the General is making a tour of inspection of the South Philippine coastal defenses. And with luck, we'll nab the blighter with his pants down.
I'm Marine Sergeant Haskins, and I was right in on that little lot. Of course, I didn't know where we were off to until long after we'd slipped out to sea from Port Moresby in New Guinea. All the way to the Philippines we were going. It seemed plain nuts to me, even though we did hoist a Jap flag. Still, Lieutenant Commander Spencer Bewley had a heck of a reputation, and that made us feel a bit better, him knowing what he's doing and all that. Well, S-884 had been captured by a Royal Navy frigate the previous year and converted into a fast snatch boat. We used to nip smartishly into an enemy-held area and kidnap a soldier for interrogation. That way, we learnt a lot about what the Japs were up to. But this was different. A ruddy Jap general is something else. It was quite an assignment for 10 Marines and a boat crew of only 8 men.
Even with our long-range fuel tank, we'll be hard put to make it home, sir.
Damn it all, man. Then we'll have to steal some fuel. Where there's a will, you know.
Yes, if only it were known where Kobayashi will be at a specific time, it would help.
Naturally. So we must use our initiative. We do know that 10 days from now, he'll be in Davao Gulf area, and that will be our striking point.
It's a big area.
But not heavily populated, except for the city of Davao itself. We can snatch a Japanese soldier or two and question them. Heaven knows you're well enough experienced in that tactic by now. If a high-ranking general like Kobayashi is close by,
then there'll be precious few soldiers who won't know his whereabouts.
An act like that could forewarn the Jap military, sir.
Of course. But we can't fight wars without taking risks. At all costs, we have to grab Kobayashi and get him on board. And if we can get him back to Port Moresby in one piece, very well. If we get sunk, then you can be sure that Kobayashi will be blowing bubbles with us.
It was just after dark when we entered the Gulf of Davao, and the lieutenant commander pointed S-884's bow towards his target, a small fishing village called Bosang. It had a Jap garrison guarding it, which meant it'd be easy to snatch a couple of nips and get them on board before the rest knew what was going on. A bit after midnight, we saw the shore lights, and the skipper slowed the engines. I was in charge of the other 9 Marine commandos, and we stood on the deck, fully kitted, our faces blackened, and ready to jump ashore the second we nodded into a likely spot. There was a half moon, which helped in one way, but not in others. Behind us, I could see the skipper peering towards the shore with night glasses.
Yes. I can make out 2 short jetties.
That corresponds with the pilot manual. Depth 2.5 fathoms.
Several boats at the nearest one, but the other seems clear. That's where we'll go. 5 degrees port.
5 degrees port, sir.
Haskins knows the drill, does he?
Right, second nature to him, sir.
Well, keep a watch for signals from the shore base, Lieutenant. Bluff them if need be, but reply.
I do know the drill too, sir.
Yes, of course. You speak Japanese like the Nips themselves, and this is your 9th mission, isn't it?
11th.
Ready? Hard aport.
Hard aport, sir.
Beautifully maneuvered. There they go.
Like thieves in the night.
Which is exactly what they are, old chap. Professional kidnappers. How long will they be, do you think?
Well, it depends, sir. But never more than 10 minutes. By the sound of it, they're in the village already.
The lieutenant had said he wanted a sergeant at least, but an officer if possible. We headed up the jetty and spilled out into the darkened village, and through it towards the Nip barracks. On our left, I spotted a modern-looking house with a light on in a window. At the same time, 2 dark figures turned towards us. They were on the veranda, and I knew they'd seen us. Both wore officers' uniforms, so what could be better? Before the Japs could recover from their surprise, my men had jumped him.
Down to the boat, lads! Jackson and me will cover your rear. Now, come on, make it snappy! Japs over on the right. They've seen us. Okay, Jackson, you get down to the boat with the others. I'll keep this little lot entertained.
Well, there was just one of me, and heaven knows how many of them. And believe it or not, that made it easy. You see, they didn't know what was going on, and they had to be careful for fear of shooting each other, and I made darn sure I kept on the move. I was back on board the boat when the silly blighters were still back there in the village shooting at dogs and shadows. The skipper was on the ball. No sooner did I jump on board than we were away, hard astern, and then full belt out into the Gulf.
Excellent. The men were absolutely first class, Lieutenant. 2 prisoners, eh? And officers to boot.
1 officer, sir. And a woman.
A woman?
A woman, sir. Japanese, by the look of her.
This is not a passenger ferry, Lieutenant. Why did the men snatch a woman?
It was dark, and the shooting had already started. Besides, she was wearing an officer's uniform. Now, she could be a nurse or something like that. I'll find out when I interrogate her.
Woman, mesdames.
In 3 hours, we'll be clear of the Gulf, sir.
No, Lieutenant. We're not leaving the Gulf. While you interrogate down below, I'm going to play cat and mouse with the Japs.
How do you mean, sir?
Use your brains, man. Of course, you're not used to hit and run. Tell me, what will our Nipponese friends be looking for tomorrow morning? Well, I'll tell you. A fast-moving vessel heading south as fast as its screw will turn. And what will I be doing? I'll tell you that as well. Cruising at a moderate speed into the Gulf. That way, we'll be taken for a patrol boat hunting for the kidnappers, right?
Right, sir. I think.
Well, don't gape at me, Lieutenant. Get on with the interrogation. The sooner we know where Kobayashi is, the sooner we can head for home.
We had a small cabin which Lieutenant Weimark used specially for interrogations. 2 chairs and a small table were the only furnishings. He dealt first with the male prisoner.
Yes, your name is Captain Akihira Himero. You've told me that already a dozen times. Now, will you tell me where General Kobayashi is?
I do not know General Kobayashi.
Liar! This is your last chance, Captain Himeno. Where is the General at this moment?
I have told you. I do not know. The General's whereabouts are not my concern.
Look, if you're going to be no use to me, I can make you swim, with your hands and feet tied together. Is that what you want?
I am a prisoner. The decision is yours.
No, it's yours. Tell me the truth, and I'll ensure you're well treated. That's a promise.
I am afraid I cannot answer your question. Now, you will have to kill me, if that is to be my punishment.
Oh, no, my Nipponese friend. It won't be that easy for you. I'm going to let you think it over for 30 minutes while I interrogate the other prisoner. After that, if you're still so damned brave, I'll beat you within an inch of your life. Then you can swim for it.
The woman knows nothing.
Let me be the judge of that. Sergeant, chain him down and bring in the other prisoner. And remember, no food or water for either of them until I give the order.
All right, sir. Now, come on, you. I've got a nice cold steel floor you can lie on and think. I'll be back with the woman in a tick, sir.
Fusaka Shimura, eh? And you won't tell me what your job is. Why are you wearing a captain's uniform, then?
I have no more to say. I know nothing.
Oh, but you have plenty to say, my girl. Was it your own uniform? Are you with the military?
You will have to draw your own conclusions.
I see. Oh, you're going to be clever. We'll cure you of that, Miss Shimura. Don't you realize that you're a prisoner? I can do anything I like with you, even throw you over the side to the sharks. Would you like that?
I refuse to be intimidated.
Oh, I'm going to enjoy breaking you.
It will be your privilege.
Make no mistake, I've broken harder nuts than you. Within 2 hours, you'll be begging to be shark food. Now, where is General Kobayashi?
In Manila. That is his headquarters.
Well, I know differently. See? He's here, somewhere along the coast of Davao Gulf. You'd better tell me.
If you know where the general is, then why do you ask me?
I've told you. I want to know the exact spot.
I am sorry. I cannot help you.
Oh, you beg to tell me. I swear it. Sergeant!
Yes, sir?
I'm going on deck for a breather. Keep a close watch on her. If she so much as raises her bottom from that chair, strap her down.
Very good, sir. I'm sorry, miss, but we got to do it. I'd hate to see a woman getting smacked about, but you're asking for it.
Please? I have nothing to say.
They're both playing strong and silent, sir.
Well, Lieutenant, why come to me? You're the expert.
You are in command, so I want your permission to use, well, violence. I think you know what I mean, sir.
I see. Well, it's not allowed, you know. Officially, that is.
The situation is exceptional, wouldn't you say, sir?
True.
I'll get at the facts a lot quicker. These nips can be as tough as hell.
You've used violence interrogating prisoners before, Lieutenant?
Are you asking me officially, sir?
Unofficially.
Yes, sir. I feel it's my duty to get information, regardless of the means.
A bad policy, Weimark. A man will confess to anything if the duress is sufficient. But, as you say, these are exceptional circumstances. Yes, I'll give you unofficial permission to use violence, but exercise it with care.
Yes, sir.
Before you go, there's a condition.
Yes?
Use it only on the woman.
The woman, sir? Why, I don't understand.
That is my condition, Lieutenant. You'll understand my motive in due course.
The Japanese girl was still sitting at the table with her head bowed when Lieutenant Waymark returned. I felt quite sorry for her, knowing what a bully the lieutenant could be.
Right. Osaka Shimura. How old are you?
22.
Yes, you're very pretty. In a fragile, oriental way. I've got to tell you something, so listen well. Before you leave this cabin, you'll look 30 years older, and your hair will turn white. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes. I am ready.
Are you? Are you ready? Let's see, then. Blimey, sir. Haskins, I don't need you here. Get out. Get out, I said.
You are going to kill me?
If I have to, yes. Now stand up and lean forwards with your hands on the bulkhead. Come on, quickly!
For a minute or so, I listened outside the door. When he made the girl scream, I went to the skipper.
Don't panic, Haskins. He has to make her talk, you know.
But he'll kill her, sir. I know him when he gets his blood up. He can be ruddy cruel, can the lieutenant?
Ah, yes, I can quite believe it. Look, be a good chap and cut along to my cabin, will you? There's a full bottle of gin and a bottle of orange squash. Take it to the interrogation room and wait for me there.
Gin and orange? Very good, sir.
Hard about there. Steer 142.
A bottle of gin and a bottle of orange, Haskins. Have you taken leave of your senses?
Lieutenant Commander's orders, sir.
Quite correct, Wymark. I want you to relieve me for a while. I've turned about and set a course. I say, Lieutenant, what have you done to this poor girl? Have you dared to beat her?
Sir? You
Good
said...
gracious, man. Don't you realize this is a very serious offence? Contrary to the terms of the Geneva Convention? You could be cashiered if it became public.
But, sir, you distinctly told me...
Into the bridge this instant, Lieutenant. The course is 142. Hurry now.
Well, I was only... Yes, sir.
Sergeant, how do you expect me to drink gin and orange without a blessed glass? Go to my cabin and bring 2.
Yes, sir.
Now, let me look at you, young lady. Ah, you've a couple of nasty bruises there, I see. Well, I really must apologize for that officer's behavior. I'll make him sorry for this, you can be sure. Here, use my handkerchief. Yes, that's right. Your name's Fusako, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm Lieutenant Commander Spencer Bewley. But, Harry to my friends. You can call me Harry.
I have no wish to. You are an enemy.
Well, the other's rather a mouthful. I thought that Harry would be easier for you to say.
2 glasses, sir.
Oh, put them on the table and close the door when you leave, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Ah, this will do you good.
I will not blink.
Look, my dear Fusako, you're hurt and angry. I understand. But try a little. It'll make you feel so much better. Come along. I know you're thirsty.
Why are you doing this?
Well, I want to make amends.
You are not going to question me?
Oh, of course not. I just want you to see that we're not all like my lieutenant. Now, come on, drink up and let's be friends. That's right. There's a good girl. Are you in pain?
No. Where is my friend? What has been done to him?
Oh, the gallant Captain Himeno. Oh, he's all right. I promise you. Here, have another. I tell you, Fusako, 4 of these, and you'll feel as right as rain.
Damn it all, Haskins, where have you been?
The skipper called for water, sir.
Water? What in heaven's name is he going to do with water?
Dilute the gin, sir.
He's been over an hour with her. What is going on?
Well, if you'll excuse me saying so, sir, they're both getting blotto. Well, not so much him, but she is.
Their lordships in the Admiralty would never believe it. Is the man a sex maniac or something?
It's not for me to say, sir.
No, of course not, Haskins. But damn it all, this is a ridiculous situation. Here we are running under the nose of the Japs, and there's the commander trying to seduce a pretty little Japanese piece. It's unbelievable.
Yes, very sad, my dear. So the captain is your lover. So you took a uniform and disguised yourself as an officer when you went to visit him?
No, the uniform is my own.
You're a nurse, I take it. Well.
No, you're wrong, Hallie. A private secretary.
Oh, I see. That's such a very smart uniform. Interesting. If you're a secretary, why do you have to keep it a secret that you have a lover?
The general would be very angry with me. He does not like Achilles very much.
Nagi here doesn't like General Kobayashi very much either, I suppose.
He hates him. What have you made me say?
Oh, no. You were telling me of your love for Captain Himeno. Nothing more, Fusako, nothing more. Now, if you'll excuse me...
Where are you going?
Oh, duty calls, my dear. I'll have the captain brought in to you, and if all goes well, I'll land you both on a nice romantic beach somewhere. It was lovely talking to you, my dear. Sayonara.
Hit the same place again, sir?
Again, Lieutenant.
Well, they'll be awake and ready for us.
I don't think so. Would you, if you were in their boots? Oh, we'd have to be crazy to hit the same place twice in the same night, wouldn't we?
Yes, sir. We'd have to be.
A slight change of tactic this time, though. I'll drop the Marines about a mile down the beach. Only when the shooting starts will we go in alongside.
And if there's no shooting?
Ah, now look who's being the optimist.
Lieutenant Wymark briefed us, and it must have been getting close to 4 in the morning when we landed on the beach. This time we expected a tough fight, and we were ready for anything the Sultans of Nippon could chuck at us. We went in round the back of the village, cut through a wire fence, and hit a bungalow that had a general's staff car standing outside. What a giveaway. 5 stayed outside in the bushes, and me and 4 of the lads went in and grabbed old General Kobayashi from right out of his bed. We got him as far as the camp gate when the fireworks started. It was just like last time. Little bow-legged men running all over the place, shouting and shooting at shadows. We shot a few down and blew many more up with grenades. Charlie Jackson and me played rearguard again. The lads threw the blanket-wrapped general on board and lined the rails to cover our hasty retreat. Charlie caught a bullet in his left ankle, but I hauled him on board as the skipper backed off and turned about. The Japs were running up the jetty, firing wildly, but by then we were already running out of range. And that was that, I thought. But it wasn't. You see, the skipper's a gentleman, and he had a promise to keep. It was the same beach where we'd landed earlier that he dropped off Fusako and her soldier boyfriend. He went ashore first, but she stayed for a moment and spoke to the skipper.
I will still call you Hallie, hi?
If ever you see me again, please do.
I do not know whether to hate myself or hate you.
Hate me, but not yourself. You did nothing wrong, my dear, except perhaps get a little tipsy. Well, you better go now and join your gallant captain. Sayonara.
Sayonara. Hallie?
Full astern! Full astern. Well, Lieutenant, it's a long trip home.
Nobody's more relieved than I am, sir.
Hard a port there.
Hard a port, sir.
Tired, laddie?
Not too tired to interrogate a Japanese general.
Yes. But I think that perhaps you'd better leave that to me.
We're out of gin, sir. Will whiskey do?
High Adventure is produced by Henry Diffenthal. High Adventure.
Well, this is the last one. About ruddy time. The windows in this place are endless. Well, hello, who's there? Well, it's gone 6. Nobody should be here at this time. Well, it's not Mr. Wilson. Hang on, there's somebody else behind him there. What's that he's got in his hand? Crikey, it's a gun. He's going to... I miss you can't go around doing things. Hey! Oh, no!
Terribly sorry, old man. Nothing personal, you understand. I'll keep an eye out for the funeral. Let's dash now. Ta-ra!
In a small, badly lit room above a coffee shop in Soho, the man stared out of the open bay window into the street below. 7 o'clock. And that sleazy corner of London was coming alive. The chattering voices of those in search of a good time and the beckoning calls of those whose business was pleasure. The man was dressed in a dark suit. Under a mop of black hair and bushy eyebrows were those deep-set eyes, dark wells that absorbed all and revealed nothing. Below them, the misshapen nose and the moustache that concealed the cruel, cynical mouth. A deep scar ran the full length of his pockmarked face, curling up at the disfigured chin. He looked in from the window at the contents of the room. A bed, a chair, a table with a phone. On the floor was a freight suitcase, the handle of which had held the tags of every major airline in existence. On the bed, open and with its contents spilling out, was a large black attaché case. His eyes focused upon the array of guns strewn across the quilt. His mind weighing up the pros and cons of each. Which shall he use next time, and when? He sat down on the chair, his hands stroking the phone, his muscles flexing in anticipation, waiting.
Yes, come in.
You wanted to see me, sir?
Oh, yes, Sinclair. Come in. Sit down, would you?
Thank you.
We've lost Daly.
Lost him?
Well, don't look so incredulous, man. It does happen, you know. He was found dead in the offices of Wilson and Glover's toy factory by the Grand Union Canal.
Well, it's just that... I only saw him this morning. Seems incredible.
He was a good man. Never had his share of good luck, though.
What was he working on, sir?
Well, officially, he wasn't working on anything. He was off on 2 weeks' leave today.
Oh, when did it happen?
Sometime this evening. I've only just heard myself. About 7, a bobby was passing along outside the factory and saw a light on in the offices. Window was broken. He went to investigate, found the body. When he reported the identity of Daly to the yard, the case was naturally referred to us.
Is that why you sent for me? You want me to work in it?
No, there's nothing much you can do. No, I sent some of our operatives out there to clean the place up. We don't want the press to get wind of it.
Oh, I understand, sir.
And as for you, as I say, I just wanted to let you know. You worked with Daly on the Cherenkov case. I want you to keep on your guard.
Do you think it could have been him?
It's his style.
Cherenkov's a wily so-and-so. It's unnerving. We know he's out there someplace. But we don't know what he looks like, his cover, the circles he revolves in. We know nothing. Just his ready name.
Perhaps Daly had stumbled on something.
No, I don't think so, sir. He would have told me. It seems more likely that he was lured to the factory. An offer of information, maybe.
Why didn't he let us know beforehand?
Pride.
Pride?
Yes, sir. You took us off the case because we weren't getting anywhere. It's possible that he was trying to prove himself.
In his own time?
It's a tough world in MI5, sir. Sink or swim. This was the first failure for me, sir, but for Daly, well, it wasn't the first time he'd come up blank on a case. And that affected him badly.
Well, I didn't notice. I thought he seemed relieved to be rid of the charge.
That was just his way. A brave face, but it was all bottled up inside.
He made a mistake?
Well, I'd say that was pretty evident, wouldn't you, sir?
All right, thanks, Sinclair. You've been a help. That should do for now.
Haven't you forgotten something, sir?
No, I don't think so.
Well, if it is Chernenkov, which it probably is, then haven't I something to offer? What I'm trying to say, sir, is that I'd appreciate it if you'd put me back on the case.
No, I can't risk it. If we got Daly, it might go for you.
I don't think so, sir.
You don't?
Admittedly, I don't know much about Cherenkov, but I do know his ways and his methods. And that's more than you could say for anyone else around here.
That's all very well. You can't rule out the possibility that Daly disclosed your identity. So you'd be a sitting duck for a character like Cherenkov.
With respect, sir, I disagree. Yes, Daly got reckless, frustrated even. Probably asked the wrong people the wrong questions. But I knew Daly. He'd never betray a colleague.
So you're willing to put your head on the block, eh?
Yes. You know my style of working, sir. Cherenkov's a name that sticks in my gullet, but I don't take risks. Not unless they're carefully calculated.
I'm trying to restore your 100% record.
I'd appreciate the opportunity, sir.
Well, I'll think about it.
Please put a bit more effort into it than that, sir.
All right. I'll give it some serious thought. Will that do?
I couldn't ask for more, sir. Thank you.
The man in the dark suit sat at the table, drumming his fingers impatiently and staring at the phone. On the back of his left hand was another scar where part of a tattoo had been removed. Only the snake remained. Gone were his initials, or rather, the initials of the man he once was, the man who died in the motorcar accident 20 years ago. There would have been a woman's name, too. But the only woman who could have ever loved him had been his mother, and she was long since dead. 8:05. With intense irritation, he glanced back from the watch to the phone. Perhaps it wouldn't be tonight after all.
Oh, is that you, love?
Yeah.
Well, where the bloody hell have you been? I told Doris I'd meet her at 7:30. It's gone 8 now. You know how I like my bingo on a Friday night. Here, what's the matter with you? There's blood on your collar. And your hair's all matted. Look, you haven't been in a fight, have you? You know what I told
Will
you about
you
going
belt
to...
up a tick, woman? I've got a decision to make.
Have you been down to the boozer?
So what if I have? And so would you. You just seen a murder committed.
Oh, a murder, was it? Oh, that's a new one on
No,
me.
I'm being serious, Edith. Oh, look at my arm there.
Oh.
The person what done it tried to kill me, too. Luckily, I slipped off the ladder before he could take proper aim. Or you'd have been a widow by now.
That arm needs seeing to.
Yeah, my whole right side's the same. That's the bruises and sores. Nothing broke, mate.
All the same, I'll call the doctor.
No, I'll be all right. I'll pop into the surgery in the morning if it will put your mind at rest.
Well, what did the police have to say? Who was killed, do they know?
Hang on. I haven't told a soul yet.
What do you mean? Why not?
I wanted to talk to you first.
But you must tell the police.
Do you realise what that'll mean? Do you realise?
Do you realise? Babbling, you're making no sense at all.
It'll be in all the papers. There I was, cleaning factory windows, making money on the side when I should be sat at home watching the telly. I'll lose me dole money. Probably go to court. They'll put me in the nick, they will.
Oh, I hadn't thought of it like that. Yeah, I see what you mean now. But even so, it's your duty to tell the police.
That's a dole.
Well, I'll just have to cut the bingo down to once a fortnight. As for you, Bill, you can stop boozing for a start and work a bit harder cleaning windows. Try and get some more clients. Go full time.
Now, come off it, love. I'm getting old now. And what about going to court and all that?
Tell them you've just started to clean windows. But as for this murder business, you must tell the police. You can't live with that on your conscience.
How come it's okay when I don't tell the social I ain't got a job, but when it comes to the police, you go all soft on me?
It's not a matter of going soft. Everyone cheats on the dole. It's a dumb thing. But going around murdering people, well, that's a different matter, isn't it?
Yeah, all right, I'll phone them up if that's what you want.
Yeah, it is. Oh, I can't wait to see the expression on Doris's face when I tell her my bills help the police catch a murderer.
Hello, Mr. Harris.
And who the hell am I talking to now?
Oh, that's of little consequence.
Oh, that's ruddy marvellous, isn't it? I call up to do my public duty to Queen and Country, and what do I get? The first geezer tells me to stay off with the booze and stop imagining things, says there wasn't any murder at Wilson's, and then he puts me through to some other Charlie, and I've got to tell him the whole story all over
Mr.
again.
Harris?
And now you won't even tell me who you are, which I haven't bothered.
I'm sorry for the inconvenience you've been put to.
All I want to know is, do you believe my story?
Yes, I do. And what's more, I believe you could be of great service to us.
Well, there's something, I suppose.
Now, if you can give me your address, I'll send a man round to question you.
Tonight?
Well, yes, if that's convenient for you.
Yeah, that's okay.
Good. Now, what's the address?
5A Kilburn.
5A Kilburn Street.
Kilburn Street, that's right. It's just off the Edgware Road.
All right, I've got that. I'll have someone out there within the hour.
I'll be waiting.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Oh, by the way, how many people have you told?
Only your lot, and my wife, of course.
Good. Well, just make sure it doesn't go any further. It's for your own safety, you do understand.
Yeah. You mean if the geezer what did it gets hold of me, I'm done for?
Well, yes, something like that. Just keep mum till our man gets there.
Righto.
Goodbye, Mr. Harris.
Goodbye.
Right, you get all that synced here?
Yes, sir. 5A Kilburn Street.
Take good luck, don't you think?
Cherinkov's getting careless.
Oh, yes, if it is him.
I'm sure it is, sir. I just hope this Harris fellow got a good description.
All right, well, what are you waiting for? Get round there.
Does that mean I'm back on the case?
What do you think?
I think you've made the right move, sir.
So do I. Come on, get cracking. Find out what you can. At last I can feel the net beginning to close around our Mr. Cherinkov.
"20 to 9, and the dark man replaced the receiver of the telephone, the hackles of his neck rising in ecstasy. He felt good. But the news could have been better. He didn't like complications. He liked things to be clean and sweet. But all in all, he was happy. Life had meaning again. 5A Kilburn Street, the voice had said. Off the Edgware Road. Half an hour on foot. He would enjoy that, walking through the bustling London streets, mingling with the crowd, carrying a small, deadly parcel under one arm. What a lovely evening for a killing or two. A Friday night in Soho attracts people like a steep cliff attracts lemmings. Pleasure seekers all. And the man in the dark suit was no exception. As he crossed Leicester Square, he didn't look out of place. More like a well-dressed punk rocker, if there is such a thing. Yet still, even as he walked, the crowd seemed to thin out in front of him. Not seeing him, but feeling his presence and moving aside. For a brief moment, he felt like Moses crossing the Red Sea. He smiled and increased his speed, clutching harder at the small parcel under his arm.
I'll get it, love.
Mr. William Harris?
Yeah, that's right.
May I come in?
Are you from the police?
Not exactly. Here's my ID.
Let's have a look. Roger Martin Sinclair. Oh, yeah, I get it. I thought something fishy was going on. You better come in.
Thank you. This is a rather delicate situation, you understand.
Come into the living room, will you? My wife's brewing up some tea.
We try not to involve the general public.
Won't you, will you sit down?
Oh, thank you. As I was saying, Mr. Harris, it's a very dangerous business I'm in.
I've got all the bruises I need to convince me of that.
Things can get ugly, very ugly.
Tea's up.
Oh, this is my wife, Edith.
My pleasure, ma'am.
This is Roger Sinclair, love.
The police, is it? Well, before
no,
I
no,
say...
Edith, no. Look, Mr. Sinclair, can you show her that card? She wouldn't believe me.
The shop assistant at the Marble Arch News Agency had had a tiring day selling English phrase books and tourist guides to foreign visitors. It was 5 minutes to closing time, and she was looking forward to locking up and going home. The shop was empty now, apart from the man in the dark suit bending down to pick up a copy of the Evening Standard. A parcel fell from his hand and struck the floor with a dull, metallic thud. She froze as he swung his head towards her and fixed her with those deep-set eyes. Slowly, he retrieved the bundle and walked towards her. He took the newspaper and a single King Edward cigar. He found a £1 coin in his trouser pockets, lost among dollars, Dutch guilders, German marks, and Russian rubles. He left the shop and swung out of Oxford Street into the Edgware Road. The girl sighed with relief as the warmth returned to her body. She locked the door and slid the bolt as the dark man disappeared into the crowd.
Well, I was on my last window. I thought it was funny that the light was on. Everyone's usually long gone by the time I get to start that part of the building.
Your tea, Mr. Sinclair.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Harris.
Naturally, I took a peep inside and saw that the poor geezer what copped it lighting up a fag. And then this other fellow just appears from nowhere and gives him it.
Appears from nowhere?
Well, that's what it seemed like. 1 minute there was just one of them, and then there was two, which is funny, you see, because I'd swear the door was shut.
And Bill's got a very good memory, haven't you, love?
Yes, I have, Mr. Sinclair.
Did you get a good look at the attacker?
Only a glance, but it was enough.
Oh, I'm pleased to hear that.
I called out, something stupid, I suppose. He turned and looked at me. I could see him better than he could see me on the other side of the dark glass, because it was getting dark, you see. He pointed the gun straight at me, and by that time I was already slipping down the ladder, and I remember hearing another shot and the window breaking. Look, there, you see, somebody hit me on the head, and I don't remember nothing after that. Must have knocked me out.
And what did you do when you came round? Did you come straight home?
No, not exactly. I got into my van and drove down to the local for a couple of pints. I wasn't half shaken.
I'm not surprised.
I had a few odd stares in my direction. As you can see, I was bleeding profuse like.
But surely someone asked you what had happened.
Oh, yeah, you bet. And I told him the truth, that I'd fallen off my ladder.
I find that a bit hard to swallow, Mr. Harris. You didn't phone the police, not then at any rate, and you didn't tell anyone at the pub about the murder. Why was that?
Well, I was coming to that.
Yes, Mr. Sinclair, honest he was.
It's about this dole money, you see.
For the man in the dark suit carrying the parcel, Edgware Road was longer than he remembered, or maybe he was getting older. Only the fact that his King Edward cigar was only half finished reassured him. Passing the endless shops, he'd half wished he'd caught the tube. But thinking such a thought had irritated him. He didn't like to be rushed. Nobody ever rushed him. Chap can't go around changing the habits of half a lifetime just like that. Much as he enjoyed his work, he tried to savour the moments. The silent approach. The delicious seconds before he squeezed the trigger. The satisfaction of a job well done. Despite the call, he'd realized that tonight's job might not be necessary. That annoyed him. On the other hand, there was the prospect of a double killing. That consoled him. Kilburn Street at last. 5A, the voice had said. Time for the stealthy inspection, the nonchalant walk past. Subconsciously, the finger of his right hand began to twitch with a will of its own.
I don't think you need worry about legal complications, Mr. Harris. Our aim is not to let any of this leak out. Heaven knows we have enough leaks as it is. As far as I'm concerned, your dole money is safe.
Well, that's something, I suppose.
Our organization isn't particularly interested in the workings of the Department of Health and Social Security. And there'll very likely be a handsome reward on the way if we catch this villain. We've been after him for some time.
You know, I think you boys do a grand job sorting them Ruskies out, don't they, Edie?
Oh, yes, they do, Bill.
Tell me, can you draw, Mr. Harris?
I don't know about that.
Yes, you can. Remember those pictures you drew for Julie and Mick? Oh, they're our grandchildren, Mr. Sinclair. Hang on, I've got some photographs in the
No,
sidebox.
not of photographs, love. Mr. Sinclair won't be interested in them.
On the contrary, Mr. Harris, I'd be delighted to have a look. Perhaps while you're drawing a picture of the killer.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'll give it a bash.
Help yourself to more tea, Mr. Sinclair.
Oh, please, call me Roger.
Oh, all right then, Roger. I'll just pop off and get the photo album, shall I?
The man with the parcel thought it strange how quiet Kilburn Street was, seeing that it was just off the Edgware Road. Kilburn Street. A grand name for 50 yards of Victorian tenements that ended in a brick wall with an underwear poster daubed in graffiti. Number 5 was just like the rest of the houses, divided into 4 flats, A to D. Parked outside, next to a beat-up old van, was a flashy new sports car. It had the smell of MI5 agent all over it. After 20 years in the business, he'd know that stench anywhere. Who were these people trying to fool? MI5 stood for mindless idiots as far as he was concerned. Still, it's just the same with all the other intelligence services. He was a connoisseur. Each brand of agent had its own odor. Even double agents couldn't hide the color of their spots. Not from him. Not with his discerning palate. Standing in the shadow of the streetlights, he watched the house. Not yet. Perhaps when he'd finished his cigar. In the meantime, he amused himself by unwrapping the parcel and attaching the silencer. He didn't want to wake the neighbors.
And that's our Harry on his wedding day. That's Doreen. Doesn't she look pretty?
Yes, indeed. No wonder you have such beautiful grandchildren. How's the sketch coming along, Mr. Bill?
Not bad. Not bad. Should be finished soon. Haven't got the eyes quite right yet, though.
Are you sure you remember? You only saw him for a second.
Oh, I got a good memory, especially for faces. And his was the kind of face that's difficult to forget.
You see this one, Roger?
Yes, Edith?
That's my father. Doesn't he look handsome in his uniform? And this one... Oh, now, who could that be at this hour?
It'll be for me.
Oh, maybe it's Doris to find out where I've got to.
It's for me. I'll get it.
You see, this should have been my bingo night.
Cherenkov, about bloody time. I've got the old man drawing pictures and the old girl showing me family photos. What kept you?
Your veins are showing, Roger.
I don't think I could have stood the agony much longer.
Do we have a ball game?
And how? The old fella's got you down to the last wart. Why couldn't you have done the job properly this afternoon?
Hindsight.
Yes, all right. But get in there and finish it off.
On both of them?
Both of them. And then I can phone in and tell Sir Clive I arrived here and found them both dead. Now, come on, after me.
Who is it, Roger?
This is Ivan Cherenkov. Works for the Ruskies. I believe you and he have met, Mr. Harris.
The dark man passed through the hallway into number 5A Kilburn Street. On the wall was a mirror. He was not a pretty sight. But then, I never did have good looks, even before the accident. The gun in my hand was firm and steady, and I was happy. The kill was on. A double kill, in fact. I entered the lounge and my nostrils told me the score. Neutrals 2, KGB 1. MI5 turned red 1. I pulled the trigger twice. Ivan Cherenkov and Roger Martin Sinclair both slid silently to the floor and lay in motionless heaps. The old girl's shrieking subsided into demented sobs, and the old boy's eyes and mouth were agape with horror. There's gratitude for you. I just saved their lives, and they were looking at me as if they'd seen a ghost. Mind you, I suppose there were many similarities. But damn it all, I can't help the way I look. You mind if I use the phone? Hello, Sir Clive Haskell.
Yes?
Smith here. Job's done, both of them. Oh, you were right about Sinclair.
See.
I'm leaving now. You better send a mopping up squad. The old couple look like basket cases to me, but nothing that a hot cup of tea won't put right.
Good, that's fine. I've got men standing by.
Rightio. Ciao. It was useless saying anything to Mr. and Mrs. H. So I tucked the parcel under one arm and strolled out of the house, down the stairs, and into Kilburn Street, just off the Edgware Road. If only Mum were alive to see me now.
High Adventure is produced by Henry Diffenthal. High Adventure.
Tonight's story by Alan Campling is entitled The Last Reward.
Farmers Bank in Amida was knocked over on Thursday, November 16th, as I knew it would be. Just as I knew it would be. By Jason Spring, as I knew it would be. Normally, the Farmers Bank in Amida has no more than $80,000 or $90,000 in hand. But on Thursday, November 16th, there was close to $1 million. Also, as I knew there would be. There were only a few customers about, plus old Harry Schultz, formerly of the city police, retired for 2 years and picking up a few dollars a month for his so-called security duties. The bank tellers were having an easy time of it. At exactly 8:20 a.m., as I expected, the door to the bank's parking lot flew open, and 4 men ran in with Mickey Mouse masks concealing their faces.
All right, everybody. This is a stick-up. Nobody move or we start blasting. No. Hey, Schultz. Officer Schultz, I'm talking to you, fatty. Down on the floor. Go on. Move with your arms stretched out as far as they'll go. Right, the rest of you, listen closely, because I'll only say it once.
The bank tellers were ordered to stand 2 paces back from their counters, too far back to reach the pedals that would sound the alarm in the Amida police station. The accountant, standing in for the bank president who was away on holiday, put his hands up and walked into the open bank vault, escorted by Dingo Donovan and Wally the Patch, who held pistols to his head.
Okay. Now, everybody else, all you customers, go to the walls. Walk real slow now and you won't get hurt. No sudden moves, right? Okay, get over there. Slow. Slow and easy now.
At exactly 8:22, the bank's front door opened again, and a tall, heavily built man in a blue uniform walked in.
Freeze, copper, or I'll waste you. Freeze, I said.
The newcomer looked around as if bewildered. His gaze lingered on Officer Schultz, lying face downward on the marble floor of the banking hall. Then his eyes moved to the sergeant's stripes on his own sleeve. It was as if his duties suddenly became irresistibly obvious.
Don't go for that gun. I told you to... Okay, if that's how you want it. Now get back. All right, you folks. You're gonna stay exactly where you are for 10 minutes. You're gonna do that for 2 reasons. One reason, we're taking along with us this stupid copper who blundered in here and didn't have sense enough to do as I said. He ain't dead. Not yet. But if there's any sign that we've been followed before 10 minutes is up, I finish him off. Anybody think I won't do it?
On the floor, old Fatty Schultz glared murderously at the gangster. He knew what must be done. He assumed that the wounded policeman would die. With a burst from a Tommy gun in him, the odds said he must. So as soon as that door closed on the robbers, old man Schultz was going to make a move.
And secondly, in case anybody don't care about the wounded police officer, I must tell you that one of the customers in this bank, it may be a woman even, is one of us. Anybody moves before 10 minutes is up, he or she takes care of it. Okay, Tinker, Wally, out the door. Take that dummy-interfering copper with you. And try not to let him bleed all over the carpet in that getaway car I picked out so carefully.
2 days later, on Saturday morning, November 18, in the city of Wilburton, some of the most valuable and important jewelry in the state was on display in the window of the Harling Gallery, as I knew it would be. Traffic was thinning out because the city's celebration of its 100th anniversary was being officially opened with a parade 4 blocks away from the jewelry store. In fact, there was hardly anybody about, even though it was 10:24 a.m. Just then, as I had arranged, a fat black saloon turned in from the 4th Street at Main and stopped outside the Harling Gallery. Two men jumped out of the car. One took up a protective position with a Tommy gun. The other reached in through the shattered window and scooped up the 2 trays containing the exhibition jewelry, ignoring the shop's usual display of articles worth a good deal less. Around the corner from 3rd Avenue appeared a heavy-set figure in blue with 3 stripes on his sleeve.
Hey, you guys, hold it right there!
The man with the Tommy gun swung his weapon towards the policeman without a word.
Hey, look out, Sergeant!
For a moment, the policeman hesitated. Then his hand went to the holster at his waist. The man with the Tommy gun took 1 step forward and... The thief with the trays of jewelry threw them hastily into the back of the car. Then he ran back and grabbed the fallen sergeant by the arm and dragged him into the car under the watchful protection of the Tommy gunner, who swung his weapon around the few passers-by, standing petrified by the shock of the attack, and then got into the car, which roared away. It was 10:32 a.m., just as I had figured.
Gee, Captain Tapp, am I relieved to see you. Oh, sit down. And get ready to take some of the saddest notes that you have ever heard.
What's up, Mr. Holden? Insurance business not doing too good these days?
Captain, I don't know what's gotten into the jewelry trade lately. One raid after another, and always when some shop has got an unusually valuable stock on hand. It has to be an inside job.
You say there's been more than one, Mr. Holden. How can that be an inside job? Were the premises close together?
Very far apart, Captain Trapp. Well, far apart in distance, anyway, but all within a space of 10 days. Imagine. 8 major jewelry thefts in less than 2 weeks. If this keeps up, the insurance company will have to close down.
Not really, sir. It'd be cheaper to have a really good security firm and stop this kind of thing before it starts. As it happens, I do have a little spare time.
Now, that's why I asked you to come in, Captain Trapp. Now, as you know, when you offered your company's security service, I was all in favor of retaining you. I remember how ably you assisted us when you were still on the police force.
Well, thanks for the good word, Mr. Holden. Seems your board of directors didn't think as highly of my security company as you did.
Oh, they had nothing against you, Captain. Nothing against your record. It was your fees they couldn't take.
Yeah, I've heard that complaint before, sir. Seems there's no satisfying some businessmen.
Ask a high fee for a service, and they think you're getting a good one. Ask the lowest fees around.
Oh, well, now, that's just it. Your fee was so low, the board couldn't believe the service would be good.
Yeah, I get the picture, Mr. Holden. So they paid through the nose for another security company. Yeah, you've had 9 major jewelry thefts from stores insured with you in less than a fortnight. Mr. Holden...
Not 9, Captain Trapp, only 8. And it seems to me... Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Holden speaking. Yeah. It's who? Oh, yeah. They've what? Oh, not again. Yeah. How much? How much? Oh, for Pete's sake. Okay, make the routine report and I'll get the details. Yeah, okay, yeah. Imagine. $75,000 worth of jewelry and taken from a shop that usually doesn't have more than... Hey, Captain Trapp.
Yeah?
You did say 9 major jewelry raids in less than 2 weeks, didn't you? When I only knew about 8 of them.
Well, this is the kind of business conference I like, Mr. Carver. Hard-working copper like me, even if I do have my own security company now. Well, I just can't run to luxury restaurants like this.
I hope you'll enjoy the lunch, Captain Trapp. Fact is, I owe you something of an apology.
Huh?
I thought a good lunch would help it go down easier. A little more wine?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Can I guess what the apology's for?
I'm afraid you probably can. The fact is that when you called at my office 4 months ago and offered me the benefits of your security service...
Mr. Carver, I may be able to make this easier by saying it myself. You couldn't believe my service was any good because my fee was less than half of what my competition was asking. Is that right?
Less than all of the other security firms. Less than a quarter of the next lowest, yes. I must admit...
Mr. Carver, I'm used to this reaction. You couldn't believe I could deliver at such a low rate. Now, let me tell you a secret, sir. Now, you're the chairman of a national chain of banks, and when you retire, you're going to be bored. You think you'll be happy just resting, doing a little fishing, maybe painting. Well, as a retired police captain, I can tell you it doesn't work out that way.
I've heard that, yes. I've been told that. Do go on.
Well, sir, I tried the retirement bit, and I didn't like it one bit. I got a hanging around in bars with other senior officers who'd taken off their uniform and couldn't feel comfortable anymore. So
You formed yourself into a security company. I see.
Well, we figured with more than 100 years of everyday police experience between us, knowing just about every hoodlum and grafter around 6 cities and 7 counties, well, we ought to do a pretty good job. And do it cheap.
Yes, so you told me before. But it sounded too cheap, I'm afraid.
And then you found 5 of your branch banks being knocked off and you lost nearly $7 million. And
5 branches, Captain Trapp? 5? I'm afraid you've been misinformed. Only 4. Well, that's bad enough, but only 4. And it was just over $6 million. Not...
Mr. Carver, I know the criminal mind. I know it well. It never sleeps. It's never satisfied. When you leave here after lunch, and an excellent lunch it was, thank you, the afternoon papers will be on sale, and I'm afraid that the Farmers Bank in Boynton was raided this morning. That makes 5 branches, sir, and it brings the total take to nearly $7 million. Like I say, unless something's gone wrong.
Mr. Trapp, Captain Trapp, if you look over your right shoulder, slowly, don't move fast, you will see 2 very large gentlemen with their overcoats on and their right hands in the pockets. Yeah, those 2.
Bodyguards, Mr. Carver? That wasn't necessary.
I hope not. But I fear so, Captain Trapp. I'm not a fool, you know. If a man offers me security service and I turn it down, and soon after the incidence of attacks on my banks goes up sharply, I put 2 and 2 together. As you say, you have a long connection with the criminal element,
And 2 and 2 have added up to 5 for you, Mr. Carver. You've got it all wrong. I can prove in any court, sir, that I'm not an accessory to any of these back raids, nor to any of the other major thefts in recent months. But I can assure you, sir, that if you had engaged my security company, they would not have happened. Furthermore, if you sign a contract with my company now, your banks will not be raided again. I couldn't blame Mr. Carlin for jumping to the wrong conclusion, but I was able to demonstrate that at the relevant times I had a watertight alibi, and so had all the other guys in my company. But there's some very suspicious people in this world, and one day one of them sent along Lieutenant Brian Malloy, who was very embarrassed about it all.
Now, look, Captain Trapp, you taught me all I knew. You was a lieutenant when I was a rookie. I just knew you wouldn't ever have done nothing.
That's okay, Brian. You have your job to do. When there's a squeal that I'm fingering jobs for mobsters...
Just a few routine questions is all, Captain.
Sure, routine, and I'll be happy to give you the answers. But first, how would you like to collar the Farmers Bank gang? Feather in your cap, right?
Me? Oh, boy, I'd get promoted so fast. Oh, but now then, Captain, don't try buying me off your tail by throwing a couple of pasties. Look, I don't want to sound tough. Not with you, at any rate, but, sir...
It's okay. I'm giving you the whole deal. All those jobs were pulled by Jason Spring, Dave Donovan, that's Dingo Donovan, and Wally Traven. You got that? And Barry Levine to drive the getaway car. And Carl Winter as a cop.
As a what?
Yeah, as a cop. See, the way they set it up, Jason heard over the grapevine that some branch of the bank would have an unusually high sum of money on hand.
Captain, they wouldn't have heard that from you, would they?
Now, take notes now and ask questions later. Okay, so they set up the raid with a gimmick. The gimmick is a Tommy gun loaded with blanks, so that if things did go wrong, they couldn't be charged with murder on top of everything else.
Now, just a moment, Captain. A lot of these raids, there was a murder.
No, Brian. There was one of the gang, Carl Winter, dressed up as a police sergeant and busting in on the action. He was the one who got fired at with the blanks.
He was, but what for?
Ideal way to intimidate anybody. Make them think some other innocent party just got mowed down. Look into the reports. You'll find the guy they were supposed to have shot down was carried away by the gang on some pretext or other before he could be examined and found completely undamaged.
Yeah, I get it. Some gimmick. No wonder police all over the country are wondering why none of their men are missing after those shootings. Say, that took some bright organizing.
Never mind that. Just take notes, Brian. You ready? Okay. You know the jewelry store robberies insured through Old Man Holden? Well, all those robberies were also pulled by the same gang. I'm afraid you're not going to get a reward because I've already returned the jewels and collected 10% of the value, no questions asked. Well, that's how I financed this company of mine, with the rewards.
And the fees from companies that do take your services?
Chicken fee. There's half a dozen of us, and it's the rewards that keep us going.
You knew where the jewels were going to be hidden.
Right. I picked the job, I picked the getaway route and the hideout, every time. Then I just spread the word and waited for the right thug to go into action. Remember, I know their modus operandi. I know how they'll think and what they'll do. I set it all up for them.
You're talking yourself right into an accessory charge, Captain. You know the law. If you're telling me the truth, I'll have to take you in. Or something could have gone wrong. An innocent bystander could have been hurt.
It never happened, Brian. I took every possible precaution. And before you take me in, you have to go along with me for just a couple of hours. First, I want to tell you about 47 other thefts you should know about. I'll give you chapter and verse for each one. And then you and I are going to take a little drive to visit Mr. Jason Spring and his merry band of murdering thugs. Yeah, murderers, Brian. I don't want them put away for just a few years on theft charges. I want them where they belong for as long as they deserve. The scum. Okay, Brian, hold the speed down now. Just around the next bend there's a sort of small farm. The crops are overgrown and the farmhouse is set well back. And that way they're not likely to get any unexpected callers.
And the money from the bank raids? It's all in there?
If they followed the plan I've leaked to them, there's about $7 million of it. 10% of that will set you up, Brian.
Gee, Captain Trapp.
Okay, let me out here.
Here?
Under the tree. Right there. Yeah. Now, I'm going to walk through these weeds here. There's an overgrown path towards the garage, okay? You keep me covered and get at that rifle of yours with the telescopic sights and aim at that little door. You see it? In the garage wall there.
The wooden door. I see it.
Yeah, it looks like wood. It's steel, so don't bother firing until it's opened. Then put a whole clip into whoever pops out. And shoot fast, because he'll be shooting at me.
Captain Trapp, why don't you stay in the car and let me...
My eyesight wasn't too good when they retired me. It hasn't got any better. You do as I say, Brian, and good luck.
That sure is a brave guy.
He don't even crouch into the weeds. Just walks along like he's out for a stroll. Maybe those guys will think he's a tourist and let him go by. No, he's making straight for that garage. Oh, where's that little door? Yeah, I got it right in the cross wires. The handle. Someone's turning the handle from inside. I can see it through the scope. Captain Trapp, you won't be able to see that with his bad eyesight and all. Door opening. Wide opening.
Get down, Captain! Get down! There he is! I got him! I got both of them! Captain Trapp, I got him! Are you okay? I'm coming.
Get back, Brian. Reload and stay there.
But I got them both, Captain. We're in the clear. The two of them were there. Hit the deck!
Stay down, Brian. That was friend Spring from the farmhouse. He doesn't always use blank ammunition, only when he's faking. You're lucky he only fired at the car.
I'll circle round to the side of... Keep down! Try to crawl!
Nowhere to crawl to, Brian. He's got the drop on us. You have your revolver?
Come out of there with your hands up. Come on, you.
No, I got no revolver. Just the rifle.
Yeah, and you didn't take time to reload it.
Gee, I'm sorry.
You guys, I'm giving you 10 seconds to come out of them weeds with your hands up. 10 seconds. And then I'm coming in shooting.
Figure it's phone, Captain.
You better not believe it. Okie may have seen only me. I'll go forward.
You got 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Now you coming out after I throw a grenade in there.
Okay, Spring, I'm giving up. No more shooting.
Stay down, Brian.
Okay, and the other guy. There was 2 of you.
2 of us? No, Jason, you got it wrong. I swear that...
You pig, Spring! I'll kill you for that. Where'd he get you, Captain? Can you manage?
Yeah, it's just fine, Brian. Spring's a dead shot. If he'd meant to kill me, I'd be dead. So he just wants to talk. Yeah, help me to the house. Just a friendly little talk. And Brian, you listen closely. When I say the word, when I call you Malloy instead of Brian, that means I'm gonna jump him. So you better move. Move fast and get him.
Oh, no, gentlemen. I see no point in knocking you off. You just killed 2 of my best men, Dingo and Wally. And I need both of you to carry my dough out of here. $7 million makes a lot of mailbags.
You won't be getting anywhere, Spring. We've left a complete report on you back at the police headquarters. They'll be out to pick you up when we don't return.
You pig! You hit a wounded man, a dying man!
Stay away from him, Brian. He's a killer. You won't believe I've got a carbon copy of my report in my pocket, with full details of all the raids he's pulled for the past 6 months.
Carbon copy? What carbon copy? You're talking through the back of your head.
Here, take it. Then you'll have to believe.
Stand back, you. All right, let's see now. Hey, how'd you ever get this list? Every caper. Dates, places, names, amounts. What is this? Talk. Come on.
Spring, I'm warning you.
Leave him, Brian. Jason Spring, let me make something clear to you. For 20 years, I've known you for the murdering thief you are.
Yeah.
For 20 years, I couldn't lay a hand on you because you never left enough evidence to persuade a court of your guilt. But after that 20 years, I left the police force and I was free to trap you. For the past 6 months, you've been exactly where my report says you were, doing exactly what it says you did. They'll put you away for life, and my life will be justified at last.
You're bluffing.
No.
Yeah, you're out of your mind. So maybe Dingo and Wally pulled some jobs and forced me to go along. Yeah. They're dead. They can't say any different. With a clever lawyer, I'll get off with a couple of months as an accomplice. And your life will still be wasted, copper.
No, I don't think that's right. Do you?
Malloy!
Get away! Get away! Get away!
As soon as he called me Malloy, Captain Trapp jumped Jason Spring. The gangster cut him down. I kicked the gun from his hands and put the handcuffs on him. I was a witness to cold-blooded murder. Captain Trapp's mission in life, luring crooks into crimes that look like pushovers so that they can be caught for the first time with complete evidence on them, is being continued by the other retired officers in his so-called security company. They've found the answer to the frustration of their careers and the boredom of their retirement. And they'll think it all worthwhile if, like the captain, they die with a smile in my arms, collecting their last reward.
High Adventure is produced by Henry Diffenthal.
High Adventure.
Smuggling has never been an easy business, and the smuggling of narcotics even less so. In fact, if you don't even know you're doing it, it can be decidedly unhealthy, as in Roger Service's story entitled, Let Sleeping Mules Fly.
Well, Barry, it looks as though we're coming in for a landing.
I think you're right. Not a moment too soon.
Oh, I agree. 12 hours in the air's enough.
Yeah. Angelo, would that be Long Island down there?
Huh? Yes. Oh, yes. Turkey's a long way behind us now, huh?
It certainly is.
Well, being a diplomat, I suppose you won't have to suffer the customs queue like the rest of us, huh?
Hardly a diplomat, Angelo. Government courier's the official designation.
Oh.
And no, I'm not exempt from customs.
Oh, but I thought that you...
Passengers, please extinguish cigarettes and fasten safety belts. We'll be landing at Kennedy Airport in approximately 3 minutes.
Angelo, you all right? You look as though you've seen a ghost.
No, I'm fine.
Look, I think you'd better have a drink. You honestly look as though you're about to pass out. I say, stewardess.
No, please. I'll be all right. Listen, when you get through the customs and immigration formalities, you can contact me at this address, okay?
Well, that's most kind of you, Angelo, but I'm only going to be in New York for 48 hours. I don't know that I'll be able to do it.
Find the time. You'll understand. Now, please, I don't want to say any more.
Now, look here, officer, just what is going on? I'm a British government courier, and I demand to know what I'm being delayed for.
Just step through this door, Mr. Wilson.
Yes, certainly. If you're finally going to explain what this hold-up's about.
Sit down there, Wilson.
Wilson? Now, look here, I'm not prepared...
You're under arrest.
I'm what?
Your cabin grip contained 2 kilograms of 90% pure heroin, and you're under arrest.
But, officer, there's got to be some mistake.
I'll say. And it's one worth from 10 to 15 years behind bars.
Barry Wilson's the name, and as you've probably gathered, I'm a courier for the British government. The job's that of a glorified postman, delivering intergovernmental mail considered too sensitive for ordinary channels. Anyway, I'm not complaining. The job offers travel, reasonable pay, and the chance to get onto first-name terms with airline and hotel hostesses around the world. It also has some drawbacks. One of them was glaring aggressively at me, nose to nose, shortly after landing at Kennedy Airport. His craggy features, receding crew cut, and open hostility did nothing to engender confidence in the New York narcotics squad. I was about to comment on his bourbon breath when it occurred to me that Officer Leroy Parker just might become violent.
Okay, give me the details one more time, and don't leave anything out.
Oh, for heaven's sake, officer, I've told you over and over. I'm a diplomatic courier. I delivered documents to the Turkish government. I stayed at the Ankara Hotel for 2 days, boarded a Trans-Pacific jet 13 hours ago. 12 of them were spent in the air, and the last one being grilled by you because something was found in my luggage that I didn't put there.
So, how did it get there?
Well, obviously somebody planted it.
Like heck they did. I've heard the sleeping mule routine before.
Sleeping mule? What on earth are you talking about?
Don't give me that. You're supposed to be a government courier. There's no way anyone could have tampered with your grip.
Well, I'm inclined to agree, but obviously somebody did. Will you tell me what you mean by sleeping mule?
Don't take me for a fool, Wilson. You're no chicken. You've been around. You know the score.
Well, I'd like to think so, but I still don't know what a sleeping mule is.
Hey, wrap it up, will you? Do you know how much that 2 kilograms of heroin will fetch on New York streets?
I've no idea.
Just as I thought. For a few grand, you agree to drop off a small bag, and so far as you're concerned, that's it, right? Well, let me tell you what you almost did, big fella. You almost put another $2 million worth of hell into the arms of young Americans, young kids, trapped on a nightmare treadmill which could only lead and end in death.
Now, look, I told you that I know nothing
And
about...
I've told you to shut up. Let me tell you, I take a personal interest in this case. My son is one of your victims.
Officer, you're making a big mistake.
No, I'm not. You are. If you came clean, I might be able to swing a deal for you.
Meaning what, precisely?
Meaning I just might be able to trade off 10 of a 20-year sentence for information on the Turkish connection.
Oh, look, for heaven's sake, believe me, I haven't the faintest idea what you're talking about.
Then get this straight. I'm going to do everything I can to see that you get 20 years to think about it. We're losing patience with you, Wilson.
Look, I've told you everything I know.
This Italian you say you latched onto at the Ankara Hotel. What's his full name?
His name's Angelo Corelli, and I don't know anything about him.
You'd like us to believe he was responsible for planting the dope on you, wouldn't you?
I didn't say that. I don't know. I just don't know.
You weren't in contact with anyone else in Turkey apart from delivering documents to the government?
No, I swear it. And what about the documents I was supposed to deliver to Washington? They have
Yeah, we've taken care of that.
Now, look, this is absurd. It can't go on. I must be allowed to sleep. And I must have access to a lawyer and the British ambassador.
Hey, come on, Barry. Take it easy. Huh? You want a cigarette?
Oh, thanks.
You'd like a drink?
Yes, please. The attack occasionally have subsided into an almost friendly chat. 1 minute, you expected a bullet in the head. The next, he might have been a favorite uncle. It was all designed to break the mind, and having experienced it, I know it works. After a lungful of relaxing cigarette and a soul-warming swallow of spirit, ironically both legal narcotics, the minor sense of well-being they engendered was rudely shattered.
Okay, that's enough of that now. Let's talk about this Angelo Corelli some more.
I was close to breaking down. What prevented it, I'll never know. The Turkish connection, mules, sleeping mules, terms which meant nothing to me. It was an endless nightmare. I began to doubt my sanity. Had I simply gone mad? Was that why I understood nothing?
The heroin trade in the U.S. is now a $10 billion annual operation. Up till now, we thought we Knew most of the routes.
Routes?
Well, Turkey's always smuggled the morphine based to France. And we've known about the factories in Marseille refining it into pure heroin for years. And lately, we've been having a lot of success in smashing the French connection.
The officer leaned his head into the pool of light. It wore a satisfied grin, which then turned decidedly sour.
But now, we find the pure stuff coming direct from Turkey. You know what that means?
I didn't, and said so. It wasn't what he wanted to hear.
It means we have a whole new network to crack. It means we're back to square one, and you're our only clue. That's why you're going to talk fast and long. And if you don't, you'll be yelling police brutality so loud, they'll hear you all the way back in Whitehall. That's if your jaw remains intact.
There is a point at which the mind displays its intolerance of pain or violence or even fear by passing out. While the grim-faced Leroy Parker glared his belligerence at me, I felt the blessed warm wave of unconsciousness beginning to wash over me. I came to in a prison cell. After that brief moment of disorientation on waking in unfamiliar surroundings, all the grim memories of my marathon interrogation came flooding back. I painfully sat up to discover I wasn't alone. Lounging on a bunk on the opposite side of the cell, with his back to the filthy, graffiti-ridden wall, was a man of about 40, sallow, and with a, to be kind, lived-in face.
So, you finally came around, huh?
Where am I?
In the pen, kid. In the pen.
The pen?
Penitentiary. The cooler. The slammer. What'd you think?
I discovered that my cellmate was a man named Louis O'Donnell. According to him, he'd been wrongfully arrested for drug peddling and was awaiting trial.
Yeah, they don't have anything on me. I'm clean.
Then why are you here? How could they arrest you?
Are you kidding? All the cops want is a conviction, even if they have to plant the evidence. Then you know that.
I explained that I didn't. I explained everything from my accent to the, to me, unbelievable circumstances leading to my presence in the cell.
You're on your way, buddy. Unless you can prove that bag don't belong to you. 15 years at least.
Which I can't, because it does.
Or you can locate this Angelo character. You are about to become a permanent resident round here.
Here? In prison, you mean?
Where else, muttonhead? Except the slammer for long-timers ain't so cozy. This is just for awaiting trial prisoners. We haven't even been found guilty yet.
The horror of my situation began to gel around me again. I was certain that Angelo Corelli was responsible for my predicament. But unless I could find him, and that was out of the question, I was in real trouble. In my naivety, I presumed that at least I knew the full extent of my problem. But I was very wrong. Suddenly, Louis bounded from his bunk and grabbed me by the shoulder.
Oh, listen. We're both in a jam. Let's do something about it.
Like what?
Like busting out of here.
Are you insane? That'd just make matters worse. For me, at any rate. All I've got to do is insist on seeing a British...
Now, listen, lame brain. Until they pin a rap on you, you don't get to see anyone. And when you become just a number, who'll be interested?
Perhaps you're right, Louis. But I still couldn't involve myself in an escape. It just isn't in my...
I've got a plan, but it takes two. And that means you, buddy boy.
And if I refuse?
If you refuse, you get this knife in your ribs.
Louis O'Donnell had a very persuasive way about him. My situation was becoming more bizarre by the minute. From a straightforward government courier of unblemished character to alleged drug smuggler and prison escapee, all in one easy lesson.
Okay. We get just one crack at this. There's just 20 minutes before the guard comes along for the 9 o'clock inspection. Now, let's go through the plan again.
He did. All the rough stuff was to be left to Louis. My part was to grab the guard's keys, and because he was about my height and build, don his uniform. Louis made me repeat the plan over and over until he was satisfied I'd got it right.
Okay. Now, all we gotta do is wait for that crummy guard. Cigarette?
Yes, thanks. Louis, what the heck is a mule?
A mule? A mule is a guy who works for a syndicate getting the dope in the country.
Ah, a smuggler.
Yeah, but smarter. Some mules make a lot of dough. I knew a doll who comes through customs maybe 3 times a week, very pregnant, and looking as though she was about to give birth any minute. Well, I never gave her any trouble. But she wasn't pregnant. Get me?
You mean she
She
actually...
brought in $2 million worth of dope each time and picked up a fat payoff for her trouble.
I see. So what's a sleeping mule?
Oh, a sleeping mule is some stooge who's so stupid he don't even know he's taking the stuff through customs. Had it planted on him. Understand? Someone like you jerk.
Louis was sneering, and I could feel my British stiff upper lip beginning to warp when he shoved me back towards my bunk.
Here comes the guard. This is it, Limey, and don't make any mistakes.
Okay, you two. On your feet.
Now, Limey, now! It's all right. Get the keys.
I've got them.
So far, so good. Come on. Get me back to the wall.
And I did. I was terrified, but I was more terrified of the alternative, a conviction for drug running.
Right, now comes the tricky part. We've got to get past that prison officer's canteen. The passage runs right past it, but in the uniform you're wearing, we'll get by so long as they don't see your face.
Louis and I now emerged from the shadows and marched smartly down the passageway towards the threat of detection, and whatever awful consequences that might bring.
No sweat there, boy. We're almost out. Just 2 more doors to go.
What about the guard? What if they find him first?
You can kiss seeing the light of day as our free man goodbye. Here, here's the first security door. Give me those keys. There it goes. Better lock it behind us. Okay, just want to go and we're through the security area.
And then we're on the outside.
No, but at least we're no longer in the restricted area. There are dozens of ways up from there. We'll just play it by ear.
The tense creeping along passageways continued for a while in total silence, until...
There it is. The last door. Come on.
The door was opened without problems, and we passed through, taking care to lock it behind us. Then we were walking through what looked like the administrative section. Louis stuck his head through an unoccupied office door, dashed in and stole a civilian jacket draped on the back of a chair.
This might help us a little.
He discarded his denim top and replaced it with the stolen jacket, when suddenly...
Run for it! Run for it! They're onto us!
We ran for all we were worth until Louis wrenched open a door which opened onto the officers' car park. We hurled ourselves through it.
We've got to get into a car. We're not going to way on foot.
Oh, but that's impossible.
Maybe not. Look through that row of squad cars. Find one with a key in it.
Oh, you're mad. Who'd leave keys in their cars in New York?
Now, this is a jail. The thieves are supposed to be on the inside. Now, hurry up!
We were both searching frantically for what seemed to me the impossible. Our chances of escape were dwindling with every passing second. Any moment now, guards would trace our movements and come pouring out of the building.
Over here! Here, I've got one.
I hurled myself in the general direction of his voice, heard the engine fire, jumped in, and found myself screaming towards the dense New York traffic and comparative freedom in a swirl of dust and burning rubber.
Right now, we're the hottest things in town, Limey. We've got to split up. Where you headed?
I hadn't the faintest idea. There was no use pursuing my original and legitimate plans. My movements would have to remain underground until some way was found to establish my innocence. My all-consuming passions included finding the Italian and leaving just enough life in him to tell the police the truth. And so I burbled out the address he'd given me to Louis. I had nothing else to go on. Within minutes, we'd arrived.
Here you are, pal. 432 East 42nd Street. And if I never see you again, it's been fun.
And there I was, standing outside the somewhat seedy-looking Shannon Hotel, without luggage, without money, in a strange and violent city, wanted on pending charges of drug smuggling, and now for escaping from custody. For a moment I wondered whether the story would interest Darrell Zanuck, but I knew no sane man would believe it. To make matters worse, I was still dressed as a prison guard. I dumped the cap and jacket into the nearest litter bin, but not before I'd located and removed a $5 bill from the pocket. Now, dressed in shirt sleeves and dark blue pants, I could mingle more readily amongst the downtown street throngs. After mulling over my incredible situation for some half an hour, I ventured into a saloon where I proceeded to blow the little money I had on a few beers and a hamburger. The beer began to take effect, maudlin effect. I began to see myself a tragedy that even Shakespeare would have been proud of, when into the saloon walked none other than Angelo Corelli himself. Maybe it was a mistake, but I couldn't control myself. I walked straight up to him. Oh, fancy meeting you.
Huh? Oh, Barry. Oh, hey, what happened, huh? What took you so long? Where's the bag?
I stared at him for a moment. Was it possible he didn't know I'd been arrested?
I said, where's the bag?
Evidently he didn't know what had happened. And if I told him, he'd probably run for his life and I'd lose my only chance of proving his involvement. I'd have to play along long enough to get help. The bag's all right. Bet you might have told me about it.
Huh?
Now, what's in it for me?
Oh, plenty. Don't worry.
Now, come on, how much?
$3,000.
For $2 million worth of pure heroin, you're offering me a miserable $3,000. You'll have to do better than that.
Hey, are you crazy? You were just a mule getting it through customs.
Wrong. It's now in my possession. So in a way, I'm offering you a chance to buy it for $50,000.
Listen, do you know who you're dealing with, huh? The Brotherhood. If they even get to hear about this, you'll be dead.
Not while I have $2 million worth of heroin hidden.
You'd better come with me.
We stepped out into the night and Angelo's plush black sedan. Silently, we swept through New York streets and out into the more salubrious residential areas. Eventually, we cruised up the long driveway to a white-columned mansion. A butler in full rig escorted us to the massive oak door of what, presumably, was the study. The butler departed, and Angelo faced me.
I'm glad I'm not in your shoes, my friend.
A muffled voice on the other side bade us enter, and we did. It was something from a film set. At the business end of a massive ornate desk sat a massive and ornate man smoking a massive, foul cigar. He wore a bright red tie which simply didn't go with the blue double-breasted jacket and green silk pocket handkerchief. He eyed me balefully for a full minute before nodding in the direction of Angelo, but without taking his eyes off me. At the nod, Angelo began talking.
Everything's all right, Chief. He got it through. He's just being dumb about handing it over. He wants a larger fee.
The large, greasy-looking chief didn't move, nor did he take his eyes off me. A sly smile slowly curved the side of his mouth not occupied by cigar, and for a moment I thought he was going to speak. Instead, the telephone rang. The big man picked up the receiver but said nothing, obviously the strong, silent type. I could hear distant babbling of voice coming from the other end of the line, but not once did the caller have anything to say which tempted him to remove his intimidating stare. Eventually, the distant babble ceased, and the phone was slowly replaced. Angelo was sweating, and so was I. The cigar was placed gently in the ashtray. The man behind the desk slowly placed both hands clasped together on the desk, and still staring at me, addressed Angelo.
The heroin's in the hands of the police. This man's a plant. Take him outside and kill him.
Angelo turned to me and grabbed my arm. I didn't resist. There was little point. I could see the beads of sweat on his forehead and the fear in his eyes. He wasn't all that certain of his future, but mine was definitely limited. Or was it?
Okay, freeze. Don't anybody move. Wilson, step slowly away from that desk and come over here.
I was now convinced I'd lost my mind. Two characters from a previous nightmare had returned to haunt me. I obeyed Louis' command. But what was he doing with Officer Leroy? Within minutes, the room was swarming with police who escorted Angelo and the big man away. An hour later, back in the offices where my brief sojourn in hell had begun, But this time without the drama. The story began to unfold.
Well, have another drink, Barry.
Yeah, thanks. I need it.
Hey, listen, we're sorry we had to put you through that.
Do you mean to tell me that you knew all the time that I was innocent?
Why, sure.
And you aren't a drug peddler on the run?
Sergeant Louis O'Donnell would have made a fine actor. What do you say, Barry?
But, do you mean the whole thing was staged? The escape? Louis being a prisoner?
Hey, real sharp, these Englishmen. When you spell it out for them in large capitals, that is.
Yeah, sure, Barry. The whole thing was a setup. Look, we needed you to lead us to the head man, and thanks to you, we've now cleaned out a whole nest of mafia that's set up this Turkish connection. We got the head, and the body will wither away.
There was no way we could do it on our own.
But why didn't you just let me through customs and follow me to Corelli? Well, obviously I'd have contacted him just...
Now, this is New York, Barry. The syndicates and their pushes are highly organized. They have stakeouts 10 blocks in every direction of the big boys. No ways could we get through their networks undetected. Every one of us is marked.
So you needed me to make contact alone. Why didn't you just ask me?
Well, supposing you'd said no. Besides, you needed the right motivation for the job. You needed to think you had to make contact. All we did was psych you into it.
But if their security is so tight and you're all marked, how come you managed to follow me anyway?
You remember the guard uniform you put on?
Yes.
Well, the heels of the boots were bugged. You were a walking transmitter. Cute, eh?
Yeah, wait till Simon Templar hears about this.
Look, I want you to know that the force is real proud of you, Barry. And it wouldn't surprise me if there's some kind of citation involved.
Oh, great. And meanwhile, what happens next? Or can I go now?
Well, right now, I suggest we treat you to a great steak dinner, escort you to your hotel.
And then let sleeping mules fly.
Come on, Barry.
High Adventure is produced by Henry Diffenthal